Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Hokage. Saving Uchiha starting with the loot attribute. Chapter 21. 431, 432, 433. Bang. Might Guy fell to the ground helplessly. Under him, the sweat had already soaked the entire land. Okay, Kai. Uchiha Marai threw a bottle of water to Might Guy. Let's stop here for now. Future, I really envy you. I have obviously worked so hard, but it seems that I am still far away from you. Might Guy looked at Uchiha Marai with some envy. His mentality is already very good, but during the time he practiced with Uchiha Marai, he was still a little hit. The goal he desperately wanted to achieve was easily achieved by the other party. This gap made him doubt his father's words for the first time. Can he really catch up with these geniuses? Kai, if you stick to anything, you will always gain something. Uchiha Marai comforted him. Ha ha ha, I will. Might Guy touched the back of his head. Besides exercising constantly, I have nothing else to do. He hasn't even mastered the most basic three-body technique, let alone other ninjutsu. By the way, I feel that you can work harder in the future, so your strength will definitely improve faster. I know my body well, and this kind of training intensity is enough. Uchiha Marai shook his head. His purpose is just to better control the power of his body, so every time he practices, he will stop immediately when he reaches the limit. Otherwise, it will definitely leave hidden injuries to the body over time. Thinking of this, Uchiha Marai couldn't help but murmur in his heart. I don't know what kind of physique this guy Kai has. He tortures his body like self-torture every day and nothing happens. Sometimes he even faints from exhaustion, and he can still start a new day of training with full energy the next day. I can only say, isn't this a kind of talent? If it were an ordinary person, I'm afraid he would have played himself to death long ago. I remember, Marai, today, my father seems to be passing on a very powerful secret technique to you, the 8 gates. Might Guy suddenly said. Uchiha Marai was a little surprised. Needless to say, the power of the 8 gates is very powerful. No matter who holds it, it is a secret technique that is kept in the bottom of the box. In a world like Naruto that emphasizes inheritance, this precious secret technique is usually only taught between father and son, or between master and apprentice. He practiced with Might Guy, and only thought about getting the 8 gates through the system during the sparring, but he never thought that Might Guy would take the initiative to pass it to him. Might Guy, although my father is only a jonin, the 8 gates is very powerful, so don't despise it. Seeing the surprised expression on Uchiha Marai's face, Might Guy hurriedly explained. Because his body was not up to standard, his father didn't agree to pass it on to him when he wanted to learn it. Hey, I can't do anything about you. Uchiha Marai touched his nose, and a warm feeling surged in his heart. Without saying much, noticing that Kai was a little depressed, Uchiha Marai waved at Might Guy. Get up, I'll beat you up. 10 minutes later, Might Guy sat on the ground with a bruised face. It still doesn't work. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, physical fitness +1. Ignoring the prompt of the system in his mind, Uchiha Marai looked at Might Guy, who was still in a low mood and was a little surprised. In the past, after each battle, Kai would say with full fighting spirit that he wanted to catch up with himself. Why didn't it work this time? Was he really hit by himself? At this moment, Might Guy suddenly appeared in front of the two of them. Seeing Kai's look, Might Guy frowned. Kai, what's wrong with you? Youth does not allow such decadence. Might Guy raised his head and curled his lips. Father, can I really become an excellent ninja? Compared to Marai, I am simply useless. Hearing Kai's words, Might Guy didn't know what to say for a while. During this period, he was also shocked by Uchiha Marai's talent. In the face of facts, anything he said seemed so pale and powerless. Seeing that the atmosphere was a little silent, Uchiha Marai sighed and decided to do something. Kai, do you know why I trained with you? Why? Because you are also a genius. Hearing Uchiha Marai's words, Might Guy and Might Guy were both stunned. Originally Might Guy thought Uchiha Marai was teasing but after seeing the serious expression on the other's face, Kai smiled helplessly. Future, don't comfort me. What kind of genius is it for a loser like me who can't even learn ninjutsu? No. Uchiha Marai walked in front of Might Guy, who said that only ninjutsu can measure a person's talent. In my eyes, you are a genius among 10,000. Looking at Uchiha Marai's sincere eyes, Might Guy, who have always regarded themselves as waste without any talent, became a little unconfident. Is Kai really a genius? I have clearly seen your talent in the past few days of practice. Except for you, no one can work so hard. Uchiha Marai's voice gradually became louder. Kai, you are a hard-working genius. Among the ninjas I have met, no one can do better than you in terms of hard work. I recognize you. Uchiha Marai's words made Might Guy open their mouths in a daze. Hard-working genius. What a strange angle. Although the angle is strange, it feels very convincing. What's going on? Might Guy was the first to react. He slapped Might Guy's shoulders with both hands. Guy, did you hear that? You were recognized by Marai. You have been recognized by Konoha's first genius ninja. Marai is right. Ninjutsu talent does not represent everything. You are a hard-working genius. Might Guy became more and more excited as he spoke. He had never heard such exciting words. Just thinking about it made him feel full of energy. Might Guy came back to his senses and stared at Uchiha Marai in a daze. Future, have I got your recognition? Yes, Uchiha Marai said in a deep voice. Keep going, you will definitely surprise everyone in the future. Woo woo woo. Father. Guy. Might Guy hugged Might Guy and cried bitterly. After so long, this was the first time he had been recognized by someone other than his father. And that person is a recognized genius ninja, Uchiha Marai. Might Guy only felt that there was another dazzling light in his life. So, in return for this recognition, Kai, work hard to become stronger. Don't slack off for a moment. I will. This is youth. Seeing the two people crying and hugging each other with no intention of stopping for a while, Uchiha Marai frowned and stepped aside. He really couldn't fit in this atmosphere. After a while, Might Guy walked to Uchiha Marai with a grateful look in his eyes. Marai, thank you for comforting Kai. Without Uchiha Marai's comfort, Kai might even be unable to recover. In other words, it is not an exaggeration to say that Uchiha Marai saved Kai's life. I just said what was in my heart. Uchiha Marai said lightly. He didn't say anything nonsense. In the later period, Kai was the man who almost kicked out the finale with one kick, and was even called Emperor Kai by countless people. If this person is not a genius, what is he? Seeing Might Guy, who had become passionate again, shouting and running away handstand, Might Guy looked at Uchiha Marai with a serious face. Marai, you have a high talent, so I am going to teach you the secret technique, 8 Gates of Ninja. Might Guy finished speaking, and before Uchiha Marai could speak, he continued on his own. Although I am just an ordinary genin now, the 8 Gates of Ninja is a very powerful secret technique. Marai, I will show you now. Might Guy was afraid that Uchiha Marai would look down on the 8 Gates of Ninja because of his strength, so he decided to show it in person in front of Uchiha Marai. Marai, you watch it. First gate. Open the door, open. With Might Guy's low shout, Uchiha Marai could feel that the chakra in his body began to run wildly. Might Guy's skin also became much rosier. Second gate. Rest gate open. Third gate. Life gate open. After opening the third gate, Might Guy's body became red with blood, and the surface began to emit green energy. Fourth gate. Injury gate open. Fifth gate. Do gate open. Sixth gate. Jing gate open. After opening the sixth gate, Might Guy's skin was full of blue veins, and the whole person became like a cooked shrimp. However, the violent aura emanating from Might Guy made Uchiha Marai feel a little frightened. He felt that the person standing in front of him was not a person, but a beast. A beast that would eat anyone at any time. Just as Uchiha Marai carefully felt the changes in Might Guy clenched his fists and roared again. Seventh gate. Shock gate open. The chakra that was several times more powerful than before suddenly burst out, and the green energy originally covering the body surface turned into blue steam. Uchiha Marai couldn't help but take a few steps back, and only felt relieved after pulling away from a certain distance. As expected of the 8 gates, this kind of power is too terrifying. Uchiha Marai couldn't help but sigh. Might Guy's chakra is only at the level of an ordinary genin, which is far less than his. But now, the opponent's chakra has reached an extremely terrifying level. And compared to chakra, Might Day's body is even more terrifying. Uchiha Marai couldn't help but open his Sharingan, but he still felt a flash in front of his eyes, and Might Day had already come in front of him. He didn't even catch the opponent's movements. Huff, huff. Marai, this is the 8 gates of ninjutsu. Might Day panted and spoke with difficulty. Even if I open the 8th gate, I will gain 10 times the power of the 5 cage. However, because opening the death gate means death, I can't show you now. After Might Day finished speaking, the blue steam on his body gradually dissipated, and he sat down on the ground. Marai, although opening the 8 gates of ninjutsu can bring a huge increase in your strength in a short period of time, it will also cause a great burden on your body. You must remember it. Hearing Might Day's instructions, Uchiha Marai nodded silently. When he read the comics before, the power of the 8 gates of ninjutsu had already surprised him. Now that he saw it with his own eyes, Uchiha Marai only felt a burst of heat in his heart. This kind of powerful secret technique to increase one's own strength is really too foul. After Might Day gave Uchiha Marai some tips on using the 8 gates, he began to teach him the formula of the 8 gates. The practice method of the 8 gates is actually very simple. As long as the physical fitness is reached, it is not difficult to practice. So, in just one afternoon, Uchiha Marai was able to open the 5th gate of the 8 gates. Such a speed made Might Day dumbfounded again. Where did this monster come from? Late at night, Uchiha clan land. Uchiha Marai ate the last bite of barbecue and showed a satisfied smile on his face. Although his body can only open the 5th gate of the 8 gates now, it is enough to use it as a trump card for surprise. What's more, he also has a plundering system to plunder attribute points. It is only a matter of time to open the last few gates of the 8 gates. The most important thing is, the 8 gates was taught to him by Might Day. In other words, he can use it as he pleases in battle without worrying about arousing suspicion from others. Time flies. A month has passed in a flash. This month, Uchiha Marai did not choose to go out on a mission. One is because he needs time to get familiar with his rapidly growing power, and the other is because the mountain bandits have been quiet for a while and there is really no suitable mission. But even so, the basic rewards obtained through daily battles still make his strength increase a lot. The biggest gain is his eyes. Now he has evolved the Sharingan into a 3 Magatama Sharingan. Panel. With Uchiha Marai's low call, a sky blue translucent panel appeared in front of him. Name: Uchiha Marai. Physique: 117. Spiritual power: 102. Chakra: 6-8. Bloodline limit: Sharingan, Ninjutsu. Others. Looking at the numbers on the panel, Uchiha Marai's mouth curled up slightly. When the spiritual power attribute reached 100, his Sharingan successfully evolved from 2 Magatama to 3 Magatama. Unlike other Uchiha clan members, Uchiha Marai's eyes evolved into 3 Magatama without any stimulation, just like eating and drinking water, and everything came naturally. This also made Uchiha Marai realize that as long as his mental power is strong enough, his eyes may be able to evolve into the Mangekyo Sharingan just like the 3 Magatama Sharingan. When he thought of the powerful and strange eye techniques of the Mangekyo Sharingan, he couldn't help but feel a little excited. Who among Naruto fans cannot be interested in the Mangekyo Sharingan? The next day, early morning, Uchiha Marai walked out of the clan as usual, ready to find a breakfast shop, and continue to practice after eating. However, the noisy discussions on the road made him frown slightly. Have you heard? The 3rd cage of Sand Village seems to be missing. Is it true? That's a cage, as strong as the Hokage. How could such a person be missing? Of course it's true. The news has spread. I heard that the Cloud Village wanted to take the opportunity to attack the Sand Village, but was repelled. Hiss. It seems that the ninja world will be in turmoil again. Quote. While eating breakfast and listening to everyone's discussions, Uchiha Marai also figured out what happened. The 3rd cage is missing, and the 3rd Ninja World War is about to begin. After hearing the news that the 3rd cage was missing, Uchiha Marai became a little excited. In the original work, after the Red Sand Scorpion made the 3rd cage into a human puppet, he chose to defect. The Sand Village knew nothing about this. After blocking the attack of the Cloud Village, the Sand Village declared war on Konoha on the grounds of searching for the traces of the cage. The 3rd Ninja World War kicked off. If it were before, Uchiha Marai would definitely avoid the Third Ninja World War. After all, on the cruel battlefield, every moment is full of crisis. If you are not careful, you will lose your life. But now, Uchiha Marai's idea is completely different. He has a plundering system, and he just needs a place like the Third Ninja World War where he can continue to kill. As long as he kills enough enemies, his strength will become stronger. After the power accumulates to a certain level, he can start to settle accounts with the Hokage line. The Uchiha clan will surely become the new upstarts of the ninja world in his hands. Sandagakure Village, Cage Building, Cage Office. An old lady with short silver hair looked out the window with her hands behind her back, her eyes gradually becoming firm. Sister, are you really going to start a war against Konoha? Behind Chio, an old man with long white eyebrows asked with some concern. Ebizo, I have suppressed this hatred in my heart for too long. This time may be my only chance to avenge my son and daughter-in-law. Chio turned around, her eyes full of hatred. Konoha is no longer as strong as before. We can even defeat the Hidden Cloud Village. What else is there to worry about? Hearing Chio's words, Ebizo's lips moved, but White Fang is dead. HMPH. Even if he dies, I want Konoha to pay the price. Chio said coldly. After the death of his son and daughter-in-law, Scorpion began to become autistic and weird. Now he has killed the village guards, secretly escaped from the village and become a traitor. All this is thanks to Konoha. So, no matter what, she wants Konoha to pay the price. But, you don't need to persuade me. Seeing that Ebizo still wanted to say something, Chio waved his hand directly. This is also the daimyo's intention. After defeating the sneak attack of the Hidden Cloud Village, the daimyo of the Wind Country set his sights on the more fertile land of the Fire Country. If Konoha can be defeated, the benefits that the Wind Country can gain will be immeasurable. Therefore, the daimyo of the Wind Country fully supports Chio's proposal and even allocates a considerable amount of military funds in advance. Hearing Chio bring up the daimyo, Ebizo no longer said anything and quietly left the room. After he left, Chio took a deep breath. This time, she will also destroy the ninjas of Konoha. Konoha Village. Following the Anbu, Uchiha Marai came to the Hokage's office. As soon as I entered the door, I saw Namikaze Minato, Uchiha Obito, Nohara Rin, Hitaki Kakashi, Yuhi Shinku, Sarutobi Asuma, and Yuhi Shinku standing by. Okay, everyone is here. Seeing Uchiha Marai standing still, Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of cigarette and said in a deep voice, there have been constant frictions on the border recently, especially the ninjas of the Sand Village, who are very active. The village has decided to transport a batch of supplies to the front line and support the ninjas on the front line. Shinku, Minato, this matter will be in charge of you too. Yes. Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's order, Namikaze Minato and Yuhi Shinku nodded immediately. After Sarutobi Hiruzen handed them 2 mission scrolls, he set his sights on Uchiha Marai. Marai, this mission is very dangerous, and you are a ninja of the Uchiha clan. If you don't want to go, I can transfer you back to the police force. Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, Uchiha Marai snorted in his heart. Old thing. Sure enough, I am still worried about him. 3rd generation, I don't want to go to the police force. No matter how dangerous the battlefield is, I will not retreat. Uchiha Marai said firmly. Just kidding, he is still counting on going to the battlefield to quickly improve his strength. If he returns to the Konoha police force, he will not improve at all. Yes, then this matter will be handed over to you. Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand with a smile. You go down and prepare first, and set off tomorrow. Yes. After everyone left, an Anbu walked out of the shadows. How is it? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the Anbu and asked. Hokage, according to perception, Uchiha Marai's spirit and chakra have no fluctuations. What he just said should all be, I know. Hearing the answer from the Anbu, Sarutobi Hiruzen was relieved. It seems that his vision was not wrong. Uchiha Marai was indeed a trustworthy nail. The next day, the entrance of the village. Oha, Uchiha Marai walked over slowly and greeted the people who had arrived long ago. Hey, why are you so late? Everyone is waiting for you. Uchiha Obito looked at Uchiha Marai and said unhappily. Am I late? Uchiha Marai looked at Uchiha Obito and asked puzzledly. This. Uchiha Obito was a little speechless. There were less than 2 minutes left before the gathering time. Uchiha Marai was not late, but they came too early. Even if you are not late, then I will kill you if you keep talking nonsense. Quote. Feeling the murderous intent from Uchiha Marai, Uchiha Obito immediately felt the hairs on his body stand up. A sense of oppression made him feel that his breathing began to become a little difficult. Marai, I apologize to you on behalf of Obito. Namikaze Minato stood up and smiled at Uchiha Marai. You guy, just wanted to kill me. Uchiha Obito also came back to his senses at this time, looking at Uchiha Marai and muttering. I was just joking. Uchiha Marai shrugged. Who knew you were so easily frightened? Quote. Uchiha Obito clenched his fists. Being frightened by Uchiha Marai's words in front of Nohara Rin made him feel ashamed. They are both ninjas, so why is this guy's aura so scary? Hitaki Kakashi was also a little surprised. Uchiha Marai's aura just now really doesn't look like a guy who has just graduated from the ninja school for less than half a year. Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma looked accustomed to it. Especially Sarutobi Asuma. When he saw Uchiha Obito's appearance, he actually felt an inexplicable sympathy in his heart. We are both wanderers in the world. Once upon a time, he didn't know how many times he had been embarrassed in front of Uchiha Marai like this. If he hadn't had to hurry on his way, Sarutobi Asuma would have wanted to pull Uchiha Obito to exchange ideas. A group of 6 people escorted the convoy towards the border. After leaving the village within 30 miles, everyone became more cautious. Although they are still in the territory of the Land of Fire, the current ninja world has begun to become turbulent. Even in their own country, they are likely to encounter attacks from hostile ninjas. Until the evening, the group had only walked less than 1/5 of the way. Calculating the time, it will take at least 5 days to reach the destination. After stopping to rest, Uchiha Marai skillfully set traps around. Sarutobi Asuma and Yuhi Kurenai also got busy. Under the influence of Uchiha Marai, the two of them have mastered the basic abilities of these ninjas very well. Seeing the busy appearance of the group, Namikaze Minato showed an envious expression on his face. Senior Shinku, Marai seems to be a great ninja. Also from the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Marai and Uchiha Obito are simply two extremes. Hehe, Marai is indeed very worry-free. The reason why Kurenai and Asuma can become what they are now is largely due to the influence of Marai. Yuhi Shinku sighed. If it weren't for Marai, with Kurenai's unruly personality and a rebellious teenager like Asuma, I don't know how much effort it would take to teach them. If possible, I want Marai to have more contact with Kakashi. No problem. After getting Yuhi Shinku's affirmative answer, Namikaze Minato showed a warm smile on his face. When he was in the Anbu, Kakashi was his subordinate. But since Hitaki Sakumo committed suicide, Kakashi began to become close. For this reason, he specifically asked the Sandaime to include Kakashi in his team, and chose Uchiha Obito and Nohara Rin as Kakashi's teammates. In order to make Kakashi open up his closed heart. But after a period of understanding, Namikaze Minato found that Uchiha Marai seemed to be a very good candidate. Therefore, he wanted Kakashi to have more contact with him, maybe he could achieve some unexpected results. While the two were talking, Uchiha Marai and others also set up traps and returned to the camp. Namikaze Minato immediately came to Uchiha Marai. Let me introduce myself, Namikaze Minato, Konoha's jonin. Uchiha Marai looked at Namikaze Minato and his heart moved. Uchiha Marai. Originally, he was still thinking about how to approach Namikaze Minato, but he didn't expect the other party to take the initiative to come and greet him. Future, I heard that you defeated Kakashi and broke Chidori with one hand. It's amazing. When I was your age, I didn't have this kind of strength. Namikaze Minato's voice was soft, making people feel like spring breeze. This is probably the so-called personal charm. Chidori is a very strong ninjutsu, but Kakashi's speed is a little slower, so he was defeated by me. Uchiha Marai said softly. Future, do you want to learn Chidori? Minato Namikaze suddenly said, I can teach you Chidori. Chidori was developed by Kakashi under the inspiration of Rasengan, and he also gave Kakashi a lot of guidance in the process. So, If he wants to pass Chidori to others, Kakashi will not have any objections. Hearing what Minato Namikaze said, Uchiha Marai raised his eyebrows. What are the conditions? Nothing, as long as you enlighten Kakashi more in normal times. You should also know Kakashi's situation. This will be very detrimental to Kakashi's growth. Minato Namikaze said his purpose. Chidori, no need. After hearing what Uchiha Marai said, Minato Namikaze was a little surprised. Chidori is an A-level ninjutsu. Such a precious ninjutsu, I don't know how many people are fighting for it. Even in the wealthy ninja clan, A-level ninjutsu is rare. Marai, Chidori is a very powerful ninjutsu, and it complements your Sharingan even more. Minato Namikaze thought that Uchiha Marai didn't know the value of Chidori, so he patiently explained. However, he was interrupted by Uchiha Marai before he finished speaking. I'm not saying that Chidori is weak, I just don't need it. After Uchiha Marai finished speaking, he quickly formed seals with both hands. The next second, the sound of Chidori chirping rang out. I have mastered Chidori. Uchiha Marai waved his hand to dissipate Chidori, and said lightly. Minato Namikaze, Hokage Kakashi, Uchiha Obito and others were all stunned. He stood there in a daze. Although the ninjutsu just flashed by, it was definitely Chidori. Kakashi, didn't you research Chidori? Marai, when did you steal Kakashi's ninjutsu? After being shocked, Uchiha Obito was the first to shout. Hokage Kakashi was also shocked. The last time he and Uchiha Marai used Chidori, he used it once. Could it be that Uchiha Marai learned Chidori from that time? If it's true, it's too abnormal. Can you master the A-level ninjutsu of Chidori just by performing it once in front of you? Yuhi Shinku and Namikaze Minato were also shocked. Chidori is different from ordinary ninjutsu. To release Chidori, you need to master the changes in the form and nature of chakra at the same time. These two abilities are not small. Even for the senior ninja, it is not easy. When did Uchiha Marai master it? Judging from Kakashi's appearance, it shouldn't be Kakashi who taught Marai on his own initiative, right? Only Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma were confused for a moment because they didn't know what Chidori meant, and couldn't understand why everyone showed such expressions. Hey, answer my question. Seeing that everyone was stunned in place, Uchiha Obito looked at Uchiha Marai indignantly and questioned again. Obito, don't be so excited. After Namikaze Minato scolded Uchiha Obito, he looked at Uchiha Marai. Marai, what's going on? About a month ago, Kakashi used Chidori when he challenged me. What the hell are you talking about? Uchiha Obito waved his hand in dissatisfaction. We are asking why you know Kakashi's ninjutsu. Looking at Uchiha Obito's excitement, Uchiha Marai snorted disdainfully, and then pointed at his eyes at Uchiha Obito. As the last one, I'm afraid you haven't experienced the horror of the Sharingan yet. No ninjutsu has any secrets in front of these eyes. In the horrified eyes of everyone, Uchiha Marai's black eyes immediately turned scarlet. Looking at the slowly rotating Sharingan, Uchiha Obito lost his mind for a while and sat down on the ground. His face was filled with disbelief, and he kept muttering. Are you kidding me? Is this a 3 Magatama Sharingan? Looking at the scarlet 3 Magatama Sharingan in front of him, Uchiha Obito's face was full of disbelief. As a member of the Uchiha clan, he knew too well what the pair of eyes in front of him meant. 3 Magatama, the ultimate form of Sharingan. Every ninja with 3 Magatama Sharingan is an elite in the clan, and their strength is at least that of a jonin. In a one-on-one situation, few ninjas can defeat an Uchiha ninja with 3 Magatama Sharingan. It can be said that the bloodline limit of the Uchiha clan can only be perfectly exerted when the Sharingan evolves to 3 Magatama. But at the same time, it is an extremely difficult thing to evolve the Sharingan to 3 Magatama Sharingan. Most Uchiha clan members can't even open their eyes, let alone have 3 Magatama Sharingan. According to Uchiha Obito's understanding, there are only dozens of people in the Uchiha clan who have 3 Magatama Sharingan. But now, Uchiha Marai, who was born at the same time as him, actually has a 3 Magatama Sharingan. But he didn't even open his eyes in the most basic way. In contrast, a sense of powerlessness rose in Uchiha Obito's heart. This time, he, who has always been very confident, was really a little hit. It's actually a 3 Magatama Sharingan. Marai, Yuhi Shinku and Namikaze Minato looked at Uchiha Marai and felt very emotional for a while. They had long known that Uchiha Marai was a rare genius ninja, but now they were still shocked. Obito, do you need me to explain it again? Looking at Uchiha Obito squatting on the ground, Uchiha Marai asked lightly. No need. Namikaze Minato calmed down, put on a warm smile on his face again, and took the initiative to speak to help the silent Uchiha Obito out of the siege. Just as Uchiha Marai said, the 3 Magatama Sharingan can see through the flow of chakra when ninjutsu is released, and can apply and see through illusions, copy physical techniques and non-bloodline limit ninjutsu. The difficulty of Chidori lies in the change of chakra nature and form. As long as these two powers are mastered, copying Chidori is not a problem at all for the 3 Magatama Sharingan. Marai, you have become powerful again. Yuhi Kurenai looked at Uchiha Marai and sighed. Although she didn't know what the 3 Magatama Sharingan meant, she could guess a little bit by seeing the surprised looks of her father and Namikaze Minato. Will you cook for me in the future? Yuhi Kurenai asked with some concern. Uchiha Marai is getting better and better, and she feels that the gap between the two is getting bigger and bigger. Yuhi Kurenai is very afraid that one day, Uchiha Marai will suddenly disappear from her world. Don't worry. Later, I'll give you food from below. Uchiha Marai touched Yuhi Kurenai's head and smiled. Yeah, Yuhi Kurenai nodded vigorously. It's a deal. On the side, Hokage Kakashi looked at Uchiha Marai, and his eyes gradually rekindled his fighting spirit. For the first time, he felt unprecedented pressure from a peer. It seems that he has to practice harder. Otherwise, the former, Konoha's number 1 genius ninja, will be left far behind, and he will become a joke. Namikaze Minato keenly noticed the change in Hokage Kakashi's eyes, so he continued, Marai, you should help me enlighten Kakashi. If it were you, you would definitely be able to make Kakashi open his closed heart. I'm not good at preaching. Uchiha Marai frowned. I can try my best to meet your requirements. But then again. Looking at Uchiha Marai's sudden change of expression, Namikaze Minato's mouth twitched slightly. No wonder Obito becomes irritable every time he sees Marai. This guy is really crazy. Boom. With the roar of the detonation tag, Uchiha Marai suddenly opened his eyes, and his figure disappeared instantly. The next second, a few screams sounded, and the system prompt sounded in Uchiha Marai's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Chakra +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Mental Power +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Wind Escape Vacuum Jade. Looking at the 3 Sand Village genin in front of him, Uchiha Marai put away the long sword in his hand. Just killing 3 genin, he won 3 rewards in a row. Sure enough, the battlefield is the most suitable place for him. Facing his 3 Magatama Sharingan, ordinary genin and Chunin can only be killed instantly. And on the battlefield, 90% of them are genin and Chunin. With the 8 gates as a trump card, as long as Uchiha Marai doesn't encounter a cage-level strongman or falls into an encirclement, it is difficult for him to be in danger. Marai, can you not rush so fast every time? At least give us a chance. Sarutobi Asuma, who finally rushed over but found that all the enemies were dead, couldn't help complaining. War is not a joke. Asuma, you deal with the bodies. Uchiha Marai turned and left. Every kill represents a reward. How could he give up this opportunity to make himself stronger to others? Humph. Sarutobi Asuma snorted unhappily, but still obediently followed Uchiha Marai's orders and began to clean up the battlefield. These days, Uchiha Marai's ruthlessness has been fully demonstrated. In his hands, there has never been a survivor. Accumulated power day by day. Even he dare not provoke Uchiha Marai easily. 5 days passed in a flash. On the way, they encountered 5 waves of attacks from hostile ninja teams. All of them were ninjas from the Sand Village. However, these ninja teams were all reconnaissance teams composed of genin and Chunin. Uchiha Marai and Hokage Kakashi could easily deal with them without Minato Namikaze and Shinku Yuhi taking action. Arrived at the Frontline base camp. After handing over the supplies to the Frontline leader Nara Shikaku, Uchiha Marai and others stayed at the front line. Recently, the friction on the border has become more and more intense. They are mainly responsible for clearing the sand ninja teams that sneak into the land of fire. After simply arranging the accommodation task, Uchiha Marai took Minato Namikaze to the training ground. He agreed to Minato Namikaze's request to enlighten Kakashi. In exchange, Minato Namikaze needs to practice with him every day. Marai, you are really anxious. Looking at Uchiha Marai's anxious look, Namikaze Minato showed a helpless smile on his face. After traveling for so long, he should at least eat something and rest before talking about sparring, right? Stop talking nonsense. We couldn't fight during the escort mission before, now it's time to fulfill your promise. Uchiha Marai said as a matter of course. In his eyes, who has a plundering system, Namikaze Minato is full of treasures, and Uchiha Marai can't wait a moment. Hearing Uchiha Marai's words, Namikaze Minato could only put away his little thoughts, and his face became serious. Marai, then you have to be careful. He also wanted to see how strong this unprecedented genius ninja is. Looking at Minato Namikaze, Uchiha Marai was also a little excited. Not everyone can have the opportunity to fight with such a strong man. What's more, he also has the plundering system, maybe he can get some unexpected rewards. Wind-style wind blade. Uchiha Marai made seals with both hands and released several sharp wind blades at Minato Namikaze. He did not choose the fire-style ninjutsu that the Uchiha clan is best at. After all, with Minato Namikaze's speed, it is difficult for the fire-style ninjutsu to cause damage to him, but it will block his sight, which is not worth the loss. Facing the incoming wind blade, Minato Namikaze's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. The next second, a special kunai stabbed at Uchiha Marai's neck. Ding! With a crisp metal collision sound, Uchiha Marai drew out the long sword from his waist to block Minato Namikaze's attack, and at the same time, a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingan began to rotate rapidly. The two fought quickly. Minato Namikaze's speed was extremely fast, but Uchiha Marai was able to resist all the opponent's attacks with the blessing of Sharingan. Is this the strength of a cage-level strongman? Feeling the pressure that he had not felt for a long time, Uchiha Marai opened fire, and the 3 Magatama in his eyes rotated rapidly. Illusion binding kill. Before the voice fell, Minato Namikaze's figure had disappeared again. This reaction speed is a bit foul. Looking at Minato Namikaze, who reacted almost instantly, Uchiha Marai couldn't help but mutter. The Sharingan's illusion is instantaneous. After laying the groundwork for so long, I didn't expect that the opponent would react easily. I can only say that he is worthy of being the fastest man in Naruto. Uchiha Marai didn't know that Namikaze Minato was also in a state of shock at this moment. Although he had already prepared himself mentally, Uchiha Marai's performance still surprised him. The strength shown by the opponent was already stronger than that of an average jonin. Especially the exquisite swordsmanship. It was as if he had been through 100 trials and tribulations, and it was totally unlike what a genin who had just graduated from the ninja school less than a year ago could display. Combined with the illusion and insight of the 3 Magatama Sharingan, it was simply extremely strong. The most important thing was that Uchiha Marai was less than 13 years old. A boy less than 13 years old actually possessed a power that surpassed that of an average jonin. If you tell others about it, I'm afraid the entire ninja world will be shocked. He was also called a genius since he was a child, but in front of Uchiha Marai, he suddenly felt ashamed. Compared with the opponent, what kind of genius was he? Hey, being distracted during a battle is not a good habit. Uchiha Marai launched a full-scale attack on Namikaze Minato. He is very excited now. This is the first time he has fought with all his strength since he got the system. He can feel that the power hidden in his body has become more and more powerful. Chidori. Uchiha Marai's figure turned into a blue lightning and rushed towards Minato Namikaze. Stop. Looking at the collapsed trees, Minato Namikaze showed a bitter smile on his face. Marai, we are just sparring, don't take it so seriously. It can't hurt you anyway. Uchiha Marai complained and gave up the idea of continuing to fight. Without opening the 8 gates, his speed is unlikely to pose a threat to Minato Namikaze. On the contrary, if Minato Namikaze attacks with all his strength, he will probably be defeated in no time. The person who can make a name for himself in the future is, unconditionally giving up the task when encountering yellow flashes, is indeed ridiculously strong. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. Hearing the system's prompt, Uchiha Marai sighed with some disappointment. Although it was a good ninjutsu, it was far from his goal. Minato, we'll continue tomorrow. Got it. After making an agreement with Minato Namikaze, Uchiha Marai waved to Hitaki Kakashi, who was watching from the side and was already stunned. Come here, I'll beat you up. For 5 consecutive days. Uchiha Marai had a sparring match with Minato Namikaze every day without fail. The rewards obtained every day were also different. On the first day, he obtained the Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. On the second day, he obtained the 4 Symbols Seal. On the third day, he obtained a little physical fitness. On the fourth day, he obtained the reward, Rasengan. Although they were all very good rewards, they were far from what Uchiha Marai expected. What he wanted was something similar to Flying Thunder God Technique, is a reward. I don't believe that it will never be delivered. A new day began, and Uchiha Marai looked at Minato Namikaze in front of him and rushed up again. After these days of sparring with Minato Namikaze, Uchiha Marai has made great progress. It's not that his strength has improved much, but that he has become more proficient in controlling his own strength. After fighting for more than 10 minutes, Minato Namikaze, as usual, used the instant body technique to leave the battlefield. Future, your progress is really amazing. You will definitely become an extremely good ninja in the future. Minato Namikaze looked at Uchiha Marai and said, the power shown by the other party now is enough to become a ninja who can stand on his own. Minato Namikaze was very happy. There are so many outstanding juniors in the village now. When they grow up, those ambitious people in other countries should be able to settle down. However, Uchiha Marai did not answer Minato Namikaze. His attention was attracted by the system prompt sound in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Flying Thunder God Technique. Name, Uchiha Marai. Physique, 120. Spiritual Strength, 105. Chakra, 78. Bloodline Limit, Sharingan, Ninjutsu, Wind Style, Vacuum Ball, Lightning Style, Chidori, Flying Thunder God Technique. Others, Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique, 4 Symbols Seal. Finally got the Flying Thunder God Technique he had been dreaming about. Future. Seeing Uchiha Marai in a daze, Namikaze Minato walked in front of Uchiha Marai and stretched out his hand to shake it. Nothing, let's stop here today. Uchiha Marai came back to his senses and squeezed a smile on his face. Now he just wanted to find a place where no one was and experience the reward he had just received. Aren't you going to bully Kakashi today? Namikaze Minato asked in surprise. In the past, after every sparring match, Uchiha Marai would choose to fight with Kakashi. What happened today? Hearing what Namikaze Minato said, Uchiha Marai looked at Hitaki Kakashi who was waiting on the side and waved at him. Hitaki Kakashi walked forward in confusion. Uchiha Marai suddenly poked his forehead. Kakashi, forgive me. I'll spar with you next time. Back in his room, Uchiha Marai opened the barrier around the room. After pulling the curtains and taking precautions carefully, Uchiha Marai sat on the ground with his eyes closed, and began to carefully comprehend the reward he had just received. After a while, Uchiha Marai opened his eyes in surprise. This time the reward was beyond his expectations. Just like the Uchiha-style swordsmanship that was plundered from Uchiha Fugaku, the reward plundered from Namikaze Minato this time was not just a Flying Thunder God Technique. Instead, it included Namikaze Minato's understanding of the Flying Thunder God Technique for a long time. Those rich experiences, along with the practice methods of the Flying Thunder God Technique, all poured into Uchiha Marai's mind. Just like when he got Chidori, he also had a deeper understanding of the concept of space, and indirectly possessed the talent of space-time ninjutsu. In the original work, even though the Flying Thunder God Technique was very impressive, only Senju Tobarama and Namikaze Minato could master it. This shows how difficult it is to practice time-space ninjutsu. But now, Uchiha Marai has gained the talent to practice time-space ninjutsu through the reward of Flying Thunder God technique. This time the reward is really too generous. Let's try it first. After fully accepting the information in his mind, Uchiha Marai took out a kunai from the ninja tool bag on his waist. With a thought, there was a complex Flying Thunder God mark on the blade of the kunai. Go! After the mark appeared, Uchiha Marai threw the kunai in his hand to the side. The kunai shot out quickly. The next second, Uchiha Marai's figure disappeared from the spot, and at the same time appeared beside the kunai. Success! Grabbing the kunai in his hand, Uchiha Marai's face showed excitement. Putting aside the mysterious offensiveness of the Flying Thunder God technique, just as a means of saving life, the Flying Thunder God technique can already be regarded as the ceiling of the ninja world. It can be said that as long as you master the Flying Thunder God technique, you will be invincible. In the original work, if Minato Namikaze did not choose to die with the 9 tails to protect Konoha, Uchiha Marai really couldn't think of any way to kill Minato Namikaze. Now I can go out and have fun without worry. Uchiha Marai smiled softly. As long as there are enough marks of the Flying Thunder God, no one can threaten his life. Fight if you want to, run if you don't want to. Go home Minato. Go home Marai now. Konoha Border Base Camp. Nara Shikaku looked at Uchiha Marai and his eyes revealed a trace of fatigue. It is now certain that the Sand Village is ready to provoke a war against Konoha. The village orders that any Sand Village ninja who enters the territory of the Land of Fire will be killed without mercy. From today on, you will patrol the border in teams. Hearing Nara Shikaku's order, Uchiha Marai nodded and walked out first. Looking at his back, Nara Shikaku's eyes were a little complicated. He still couldn't believe that the Uchiha clan could have such a ninja who was willing to take the lead in everything. In the dense forest on the border, Uchiha Marai watched Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma carefully set up traps, while he sat leisurely on a branch and left a hidden mark of the Flying Thunder God. Anyway, it doesn't cost much chakra, so leaving more marks is never a bad thing. At this moment, the roar of the detonating tag suddenly sounded nearby. Before Sarutobi Asuma and Yuhi Kurenai could react, Uchiha Marai's figure disappeared from the spot. Thousands of meters away, the 3 ninjas from the Sand Village flew back as soon as the trap was triggered. The 3 of them were just jonin, and since they were discovered, the most correct choice was to evacuate as soon as possible. But before they could run far, a boy with a long sword rushed towards them quickly. Seeing the boy, the 3 ninjas from the Sand Village looked at each other and showed a cruel smile on their faces. They stopped where they were, waiting for Uchiha Marai to approach, and immediately surrounded Uchiha Marai. I'm so lucky. A kid actually came to me on his own initiative. HMPH. I've seen many such ignorant guys. They chased after the enemy without hesitation when they saw him retreat. In fact, they are all self-righteous idiots. It's a pity. I only have 1 life. It's too late to regret it. 3 sand ninjas approached Uchiha Marai, with a hint of excitement on their faces. In front of him this kid looks like he just graduated from the ninja school, and there is only 1 of them. He is simply a white rabbit that has come to the door. You were right. Huh. The 3 sand ninjas were somewhat puzzled by Uchiha Marai's words. The next second, a knife flashed. The head of a sand ninja fell to the ground. What a fast speed. The remaining 2 sand ninjas saw their companions being killed, and their faces were all shocked. Just now, they didn't even catch the other party's movements, and their companions were already beheaded. The remaining 2 sand ninjas immediately realized that they seemed to have provoked someone they shouldn't have provoked. This seemingly reckless young man in front of them is much stronger than them. He is definitely a talented ninja with excellent talent. Separate retreat. After realizing the strength of Uchiha Marai, the 2 ran to both sides, so that at least 1 person could escape and send the information back safely. Puff! The sand ninja, whose throat was cut by a long knife after running only a dozen meters, lay on the ground helplessly. He could feel that his life was slipping away rapidly. However, looking at his companion who had already run hundreds of meters away in the opposite direction, he showed a trace of relief in his eyes. His sacrifice was worthwhile. Such a genius ninja appeared in Konoha, and someone must be sent to assassinate him before he grows up. Such information is far more important than his life. But just before his consciousness gradually dissipated, the sand ninja lying on the ground suddenly saw a kunai shot towards his companion, and it was already next to his companion in the blink of an eye. The sand ninja's heart tightened for a moment, but after seeing his companion knock down the kunai, he breathed a sigh of relief. But the next moment, the sand ninja lying on the ground widened his eyes. He saw that the boy who was originally beside him suddenly appeared next to his companion out of thin air and pierced his companion's heart with a knife. How did you do this? This is such important information. The heart of the sand ninja sank to the bottom of the valley, and his consciousness could no longer hold on, dissipating in the darkness. Uchiha Marai wiped the long sword, put away the kunai on the ground, and the system prompt sounded in his ears at the right time. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, chakra +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, chakra +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, chakra +1. When Uchiha Marai had already cleaned up the battlefield, Kurenai Yuhi and Asuma Sarutobi just arrived. Marai, are you not injured? Kurenai Yuhi immediately asked with concern after seeing Uchiha Marai. No, Uchiha Marai smiled, it's just 3 genin, I have dealt with them. Seeing Uchiha Marai's nonchalant look, Kurenai Yuhi and Asuma Sarutobi were speechless. Just 3 genin, you are just a genin, okay. Asuma Sarutobi frowned. Uchiha Marai, you are too reckless. We are acting as a team, you shouldn't leave us to act alone. Hearing Asuma Sarutobi's question, Uchiha Marai snorted, I don't need you to tell me what I want to do. You, Asuma Sarutobi was very angry with Uchiha Marai, can we act alone like you in the future? Have you forgotten what you said to us before? War is not a joke, never let yourself become a burden to your companions. Didn't you say that yourself? Facing Asuma Sarutobi's question, Uchiha Marai glanced at him indifferently, Asuma, rules are made for the weak. Before you defeat me, you just need to follow orders. Right or wrong, morality, ninja rules, he doesn't care about anything. Uchiha Marai only wanted to do things according to his own will, and it was wishful thinking to use other things to restrain him. Asshole, Sarutobi Asuma clenched his fists, his face flushed red. As the son of the Hokage, when had he ever been so angry? Sarutobi Asuma swore that if he hadn't been defeated, he would have rushed up and beaten up this annoying guy in front of him. In the following period of time, Uchiha Marai led Sarutobi Asuma and Yuhi Kurenai to start a ruthless sweep against the ninjas of the Sand Village. No one of the sand ninjas they encountered could escape. Even some Chunin had no power to fight back in front of Uchiha Marai. In just 10 days, Uchiha Marai had eliminated 10 sand ninja teams. 25 of them died in the hands of Uchiha Marai. In addition to the rewards obtained from daily competitions during this period of time, Uchiha Marai's attribute panel has increased significantly again. Name: Uchiha Marai. Physique: 130. Spiritual strength: 110. Chakra: 101. Bloodline limit: Sharingan, Ninjutsu. Others. Looking at the 3-dimensional attributes that have all exceeded 100, Uchiha Marai nodded secretly. According to the attribute points, he has reached the level of a jonin in all aspects. Moreover, due to the blessing of the 3 Magatama Sharingan, ordinary jonins are no longer his opponents. Only elite jonins can compete with him. If the burst of the 8 gates of ninjutsu, the Flying Thunder God technique and the Rasengan are added, he has the confidence to challenge even a cage-level strongman. In just a few months, he has grown from a genin to the current level. Sure enough, the only correct way to open it is to cheat. This guy is really leisurely. Sarutobi Asuma snorted as he looked at Uchiha Marai, who closed his eyes and rested on the tree trunk. In the recent encounter with the Sand Ninja, he was of little help. Most of the time, Uchiha Marai was able to take out all the enemies by himself. This made Sarutobi Asuma, who always wanted to prove himself, very unhappy. In his opinion, Uchiha Marai had taken all the limelight that belonged to him, and even Uchiha Obito next door dared to laugh at him loudly. If this goes on, how can he prove himself to his father? No, next time I must show myself before Uchiha Marai. Sarutobi Asuma clenched his fists. During this period of time, he thought he had made great progress. He might not be as amazing as Uchiha Marai, but he should not be bad. Those ninjas from the Sand Village were just some guys who were strong on the outside but weak on the inside, and there was no need to worry about them at all. At this moment, a bell sounded in front of him. Sarutobi Asuma looked up and saw more than a dozen shurikens coming quickly towards him. There's an enemy. Sarutobi Asuma took out his special chakra knife and knocked down the incoming shuriken. Then he saw a ninja rushing over at a very fast speed. Come on. Sarutobi Asuma sneered and immediately rushed towards the sand ninja. Fire style. Ash burning. A stream of high-temperature ash swallowed up the sand ninja and immediately exploded. Asuma Sarutobi got into position and stared at the front. The next moment, several high-speed rotating shurikens rushed out of the smoke. Ding, ding, ding. Asuma Sarutobi blocked several shurikens in front of him, and before he could catch his breath, a figure immediately appeared beside him. Bang! With a whip kick, Asuma Sarutobi felt his eyes go black, and his body flew out like a kite with a broken string. Too fast. The opponent's speed and strength made him have no time to react. His ninjutsu just now seemed to have no effect on the opponent. Before he could stabilize his body, the sand ninja had already rushed in front of him. There was a hideous scar on the opponent's face from the center of the eyebrows to the corner of the mouth, and he exuded an amazing murderous intent. Looking at the cold eyes, Asuma Sarutobi felt that his blood was frozen. From beginning to end, the other party did not say a word, nor did he make any extra movements, but he was about to take his life. Jonin. This is definitely a jonin. Asuma Sarutobi shouted in his heart, but it was too late to say anything now. In the face of the powerful force of the other party, he could not react at all. Just when Asuma Sarutobi was desperate, the jonin of Sand Village who had stabbed him suddenly withdrew his hand, turned around in the air and quickly formed a seal, wind style, suppress harm. Boom! Everything within a few meters in front was cut into pieces and blown away by the sharp wind blade, turning into a vacuum zone. At this moment, Asuma Sarutobi felt his body lighten, and his body quickly retreated more than 10 meters. Looking at Uchiha Marai standing beside him with his back straight, Asuma Sarutobi couldn't help but feel a little scared. Just now, I almost died. He felt the horror of the battlefield for the first time. When the jonin killed him just now, he didn't even want to waste a trace of chakra. Asuma, stay with Hong. Uchiha Marai slowly drew out the long sword from his waist. After hearing the voice, Sarutobi Asuma came back to his senses and quickly reminded loudly, Marai, be careful, he is very strong. Ha 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 ha, Asuma, ha. Looking at Sarutobi Asuma's puzzled eyes, Uchiha Marai said lightly, don't use your feelings to judge the opponent in my eyes. Interesting kid. Seeing Uchiha Marai's appearance, the Sand Village ninja smiled and looked at the kid who had forced him to change his strategy with interest. The other party looked like he had just graduated from the ninja school, but he had grasped the timing of his attack very accurately. And the other party's rebellious speech just now seemed to have ignored him. If such a kid could show a look of despair, it would definitely be a very interesting thing. Thinking of this, the sand ninja said coldly, Kid, your strength is indeed good, but facing the ninja, this cannot be your capital for arrogance. Tremble. Fear. Ha 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 ha. The sand ninja continued to exude a strong killing intent and took the initiative to tell his strength. But the boy opposite did not show any other expression as he expected. Just looking at him expressionlessly, he snorted, Idiot. Brat, I'll let you know who's the idiot later. The enraged sand ninja no longer hesitated, picked up the kunai and rushed towards Uchiha Marai. Wind style. Wind blade. Earth style. Earth flow wall. The sharp wind blade collided with the earth wall, dust flew, and a puff of smoke rose up. The next moment, the figure of the sand ninja appeared beside Uchiha Marai. Clang. The kunai and the long sword collided, sparking sparks. A look of surprise appeared on the face of the sand ninja, the opponent's reaction speed was so fast. Before he could make any move, Uchiha Marai had already drawn his sword and slashed at his neck. The sand ninja raised the fine steel kunai in his hand to resist, and began to habitually think about the next move in his mind. But the next second, the sand ninja's face changed. The fine steel kunai in his hand was cut off without any hindrance the moment it touched the opponent's long sword. Puff! At the last moment, the sand ninja tried his best to lean back, but a deep scratch on his chest was still left. Bang! With a muffled sound, the sand ninja only felt a spasm in his stomach, and his body was kicked out heavily. Run! The sand ninja made a decision at the first time. The strength of the kid in front of him was beyond his expectations. If he continued to fight, he would only die. Save your life first. The sand ninja stared at Uchiha Marai, chakra flowing in his body, and his hands immediately prepared to perform the instant body technique and substitute technique to escape. But at this moment, something strange happened. In his eyes, the eyes of the black-eyed boy had turned scarlet at some point. 3 Magatama Sharingan. The sand village jonin trembled in his heart, and before he could react, he felt a trance. The next second, a flash of lightning passed by. Chidori. Looking at his pierced heart, the sand village's jonin spurted out a mouthful of blood mixed with organ fragments, with a look of shock and unwillingness, and his consciousness gradually dissipated. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Chakra +1. Hearing the prompt of the system in his mind, Uchiha Marai felt a little depressed. Originally thought that there would be a better reward for killing a jonin, but it turned out to be the same reward as killing a genin. In terms of cost performance, it is ridiculously low. Win! Seeing the sand ninja lose consciousness, Yuhi Kurenai shouted in joy and rushed to Uchiha Marai's side. This is a jonin. It was killed so easily by Marai. Too strong. Marai, why did your knife cut off the kunai of this jonin in one go? Yuhi Kurenai asked curiously. In the previous battle, this can be said to be the turning point that determined the situation. If the weapon had not broken, the sand ninja would not have been seriously injured. Yuhi Kurenai was very curious, how did this happen? After all, in the previous fight, the sand ninja's weapon was clearly able to block Uchiha Marai's long sword. Hong, attaching wind chakra to the weapon can greatly increase the weapon's cutting ability. In battle, when you suddenly attach wind chakra to the weapon at a certain time, it can often have unexpected effects. Uchiha Marai patiently explained to Yuhi Kurenai. Even a fine steel kunai is no different from tofu in front of his long sword attached with wind chakra. You can actually do this, Marai, you are really a genius. Hearing Yuhi Kurenai's praise, Uchiha Marai rubbed the other's head and messed up Hong's hair. Genius. Genius is just the threshold to see me. Yuhi Kurenai's eyes lit up. She just liked the feeling of being pretended. As expected of Marai, she always pretends to be so smooth and fluent. When you master the nature and form changes of chakra, you can do it too. Yes, okay, clean up the battlefield. Uchiha Marai looked at the lifeless sand ninja. Remember to be careful of the traps on him. Got it. Looking at the backs of Yuhi Kurenai and Uchiha Marai, Sarutobi Asuma felt a trance. The jonin who made him despair was easily solved in front of Uchiha Marai. Don't judge my opponent with your feelings. Uchiha Marai's words appeared in his mind again, and Sarutobi Asuma felt bitter. Maybe Kurenai's choice was not wrong. Compared with Uchiha Marai, he was indeed much worse. Sand Village. Frontline Base Camp. In the tent. Chio looked at the intelligence scroll in her hand with a gloomy face. All the ninjas of the Sand Village were silent, and the atmosphere was very dull. The attack on Konoha these days was not smooth. Not only did they not find any useful intelligence, but they suffered heavy losses. Originally, only some Genin and Chunin teams were injured and killed, but now even Jonin began to disappear. Every Jonin is a vital combat force for the village. They can't afford such losses. Rosa, here, take 2 Jonins and form a decapitation team to teach Konoha a lesson. Yes, seeing Luasha's somewhat nervous face, Chio's tone eased a little. Now that the third cage is missing, the village needs to choose a prestigious and convincing person to serve as the fourth. You are the successor of the magnetic escape technique, don't let me down. Hearing Chio's words, Luasha felt that his heart was about to jump out of his throat. Becoming the cage has always been his dream. Originally, he had no hope for this, but the sudden disappearance of the third cage, who was in his prime, gave him another opportunity. However, because he had no background, Luosha had always been inconspicuous. But now, Granny Chio, who had absolute say in the village, actually publicly expressed her support for him. Coming out of the tent, Luosha felt like he was dreaming. Recalling the conversation just now, Luo Sha's eyes were full of fighting spirit. This battle with Konoha was the best opportunity. As long as he could accumulate enough merits, plus Granny Chio's support, the day when he became the fourth Kage was just around the corner. Thinking of this, Luo Sha selected 2 jonin and rushed towards Konoha. Land of Fire. In the dense forests at the border, Uchiha Marai led Sarutobi Asuma and Yuhi Kurenai to gallop through the trees. In recent days, the casualties of Konoha ninja have gradually increased, and many patrol teams have disappeared inexplicably. According to intelligence, a Chunin team was attacked in the northwest of the camp, and they were rushing to the direction of the team. No words along the way. When they arrived near the intelligence point, Uchiha Marai raised his arms silently. Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma stopped silently immediately. Future, what's wrong? Yuhi Kurenai asked in a low voice. Something is wrong here. If there is any change later, you should evacuate as soon as possible. After hearing Uchiha Marai's order, Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma nodded at the same time. Since the last encounter with the Sand Village's jonin, Sarutobi Asuma has been much more honest and no longer thinks about showing himself actively. Several people groped forward cautiously, and suddenly a faint groaning sound came into their ears. The 3 looked at each other and walked forward a few steps. Then, they saw 3 Konoha ninjas lying in a pool of blood, and the groaning sound came from one of them. It's the ninja from our village. Seeing the seriously injured ninja, Sarutobi Asuma cried out and immediately wanted to step forward to rescue his companions. But as soon as he stood up, Uchiha Marai pressed his shoulders. Asuma, what is the first thing you do after defeating the enemy? Hearing Uchiha Marai's words, Sarutobi Asuma was shocked. On the battlefield, finishing off the enemy is the most important thing. Most ninjas are very cunning, and it is common to pretend to be dead and sneak attack. So, unless you encounter a very critical situation, the first thing to do after defeating the enemy is to finish off the enemy and ensure the enemy's death. But now, there is no trace of the enemy on the ground, and it is obvious that the enemy has not suffered any harm. In this case, a ninja, luckily, survived. Only a rookie who has just become a ninja can do such a thing. But the probability of having 3 rookies in a team at the same time is almost negligible. What's more, if there are really 3 rookies, the opponent can't let the village's Chunin team become what it is now. Combining various analyses, there is only one possibility for the current situation. This is a trap set by the enemy. After coming to the conclusion, Sarutobi Asuma looked at Uchiha Marai beside him in surprise. Did this guy analyze the truth of the matter at the first time? Not only is he strong, but his mind is so clear. What a monster. Retreat, Uchiha Marai ordered in a low voice. Encircling a point and attacking reinforcements is a very common but effective tactic. Since he already knew that the trap in front of him was set by the enemy, he certainly wouldn't bite the bullet and rush in. Marai, if we leave like this, then he. Sarutobi Asuma looked at his companion who was groaning in pain in front of him, his expression was a little tangled. Even though he knew it was a trap set by the other party, he felt very uncomfortable to abandon his living companion and leave. Looking ahead and behind will only make you lose everything. If you feel bad, kill more enemies to avenge your companions. Uchiha Marai said lightly. At this moment, 3 figures appeared behind several people. What a cold guy, is the life of your companion so insignificant in your eyes? The leader Luo Sha looked at the 3 Uchiha Marai frivolously. In this case, a large amount of golden sand suddenly gushed out from under the seriously injured Konoha Chunin, swallowing it instantly. Puff! The golden sand dispersed, leaving a patch of sticky blood and minced meat on the ground. Seeing this, Sarutobi Asuma and Yuhi Kurenai clenched their fists. Fool! Don't let such a low-level provocation make you lose your reason. Uchiha Marai drew out his long sword, his eyes alert. He had already guessed the identity of the ninja in front of him from the opponent's tactics just now. The future 4th Kage, Rasa. Possessing the magnetic escapade bloodline limit, his strength is terrifying. For him now, he is a very difficult strong man. It seems that I'm lucky today. I can actually meet such an interesting little guy. After seeing Uchiha Marai's performance, Rasa showed a surprised expression on his face. Not everyone can keep calm in this situation. The enemy this time is not easy to deal with. You find a chance to run first. No, we are a small team, we must advance and retreat together. Hong, if you stay here, I will need to be distracted to protect you. It is better to go to the camp for help. But, this is an order. I know. Seeing Uchiha Marai's serious expression, Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma did not dare to say anything more. This is the first time they have seen Uchiha Marai so serious. The enemy on the opposite side must be terribly strong. Run! Uchiha Marai shouted and threw several shurikens. Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. Quote, in midair, the shuriken changed from 1 to 2, then 2 to 4. In the blink of an eye, they were overwhelming, rushing towards Luasha and others from all directions. Seeing this scene, Luasha snorted lightly, and countless gold dust poured out from the ground, blocking all the shurikens. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Sarutobi Asuma and Yuhi Kurenai quickly evacuated in opposite directions. Maki, Oyama, you go after the other two. Yes. Hearing the order, the two jonins who came with Luasha chased in the direction where Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma left. Luasha controlled the gold dust and swept towards Uchiha Marai. Shadow Clone Technique. Fire Style. Great Fireball Technique. Wind Style. Great Breakthrough. Uchiha Marai and Shadow Clone attacked at the same time. The fire took advantage of the wind, and the flames in the sky instantly swallowed Luasha. It's useless. Quote, Rosa hid his body behind the gold sand, and did not care about Uchiha Marai's attack, and continued to attack Uchiha Marai. 8 Gates of Ninjutsu 6th Gate Kajimon, open. Uchiha Marai did not continue to fight with Rasa, but directly opened the first 6 gates of the 8 Gates of Ninjutsu. Maki and another man named Dashin were both jonin, and he had to stop them, otherwise Yuhi Kurenai and Asuma would be in danger. After opening the 8 gates of ninjutsu, Uchiha Marai was covered with green steam, and his speed increased several times. He disappeared from the spot in a flash. When moving, the ground was lifted by the air. Die! Instantly came to Dashin's side. Uchiha Marai slashed with his long sword, and Dashin immediately lowered his head. A strand of hair was cut off, and before Dashin could breathe a sigh of relief, Uchiha Marai's hand had already been printed on his chest. Rasengan. Quote, boom. Under the effect of the Rasengan, Dashin's body flew backwards in a rotation, knocking down several thick trees before falling heavily to the ground. Seeing this scene, Luasha and Maki were both extremely shocked. Dashin is a veteran ninja, and he was killed instantly by a little kid. What a joke. Chapter 31. Uchiha Marai killed Dashin in an instant, which surprised Luasha and Maki. A child who looked like a teenager actually had such strong power. Even though the opponent obviously used a secret technique, being able to do this was enough to show the opponent's strength. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Wind Style Suppression. After killing a jonin from the Sand Village, Uchiha Marai did not stop and continued to rush towards Maki. Wind Style Wind Blade. Facing Maki's counterattack, Uchiha Marai quickly formed seals with both hands, Wind Style Suppression. Countless wind blades collided with each other, and the powerful cutting ability smashed everything within the range. Maki, come back quickly. Luasha had also caught up at this time. He was not afraid of the guy in front of him to fight him head-on, but after the opponent used the secret technique, his speed was too fast. If Maki chose to continue chasing the two Konoha ninjas who had just escaped, his end would probably not be much better than Dashin. A secret technique like this that can increase a person's strength in a short period of time will not last long. As long as you hold him back, when the opponent can no longer maintain the secret technique, things will be simple. Fire Style. Ash Burning. Uchiha Marai made a seal again as he watched Luosha rush over. A large amount of high-temperature smoke spewed out of Uchiha Marai's mouth, instantly blocking the view in front. Wind Style. Typhoon Pass. Facing the overwhelming high-temperature smoke, Maki and Luosha were temporarily separated. He made seals with both hands, trying to blow away the smoke with Wind Style. As long as he could meet up with Luosha, he didn't have to worry about his own safety. At this moment, a kunai rushed out of the smoke, and Maki's hands did not stop, but he just tilted his head slightly. As a jonin, if he couldn't even avoid such an attack, he might as well just crash into it and die. Puff! Feeling the severe pain in his chest, Maki looked down in disbelief and found a long sword emitting a cold light piercing through his heart. How is it possible? Maki's eyes widened in horror. Wasn't that kid a few dozen meters away from him? Why did he suddenly appear behind him? Bang! With strong reluctance and doubt, Maki's body fell heavily to the ground. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, once the typhoon passes. Uchiha Marai silently put away the kunai with the flying thunder god mark. This is his trump card. It is better not to expose it at this stage. A strong wind blew, and the high-temperature smoke dissipated. Looking at Maki lying on the ground and losing his breath, Luo Sha was shocked and angry. Maki was a very good jonin under his command. He had great hope of becoming an elite jonin in the future, but now he died here. Having lost 2 jonin in succession, Luo Sha felt that his heart was bleeding. But at the same time of anger, Luo Sha's heart was also in turmoil. Killing 2 jonins so easily in such a short time, could it be that this kid in front of him already has the strength of a cage-level strongman? Chidori. A flash of lightning passed by, and Uchiha Marai came to Luo Sha in the blink of an eye. Bang! Chidori left a hole in the heavy gold sand, but did not pose any threat to Luo Sha. The attack did not work, and Uchiha Marai began to attack Luo Sha from different directions, trying to use the super high speed to find flaws like when Shaoli fought against Gaara in the original work. But the current Luo Sha is obviously not comparable to Gaara during the Chunin exam. Luo Sha is like a turtle without any flaws, and Uchiha Marai's attack did not achieve any effect. 3 Magatama Sharingan. So you are a kid from the Uchiha clan. Seeing Uchiha Marai's scarlet 3 Magatama Sharingan, Luo Sha's face showed excitement again. Such a genius boy also possesses the blood limit of the Uchiha clan. If the other party's body can be brought back, the fault of the death of 2 senior ninjas will be completely insignificant. Magnetic style. Golden sand waves. Countless gold sand rushed towards Uchiha Marai, and Uchiha Marai could only fly back. Seeing that the gold sand was getting more and more, it had already covered the entire area within a radius of 100 meters, and Uchiha Marai's eyes were cold. Now he has almost reached his limit. Not to mention the side effects of the 8 gates, even his own chakra has been almost exhausted. Sure enough, the cage-level strongman is not the same concept as the ordinary ninja. He can kill a senior ninja like Maki in seconds, however, facing a cage-level warrior like Luo Sha, it is difficult to hurt him at all. Magnetic style. Gold dust field technique. The gold dust within 100 meters formed a huge barrier, and countless gold dust spears as sharp as bamboo shoots took shape in the barrier. Seeing that the space for escape was getting smaller and smaller, Uchiha Marai sighed. The only way to avoid this dense barrier attack was to use the Flying Thunder God technique. Just as he was about to move, a 3-pronged kunai flew to his feet, and then a golden figure appeared out of thin air beside him. Marai, I'm a little late. A gentle voice sounded, and Namikaze Minato pulled Uchiha Marai and used the Flying Thunder God technique again to leave Luo Sha's attack range. Seeing Namikaze Minato, Yuhi Shinku and others beside him, Uchiha Marai's brows relaxed. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward. Magnetic style, gold dust bloodline Genkei. Feeling the information pouring into his mind, Uchiha Marai knew that he was safe, and he no longer insisted. He closed his eyes and fainted. Hiss! Uchiha Marai opened his eyes, and the pain in his body instantly made him grimace. The sequelae of the 8 gates of Dunjia were more severe than he had imagined. He now felt that his body was about to fall apart. Marai, you're awake. Hearing the voice, Yuhi Kurenai's face immediately showed a happy smile. Hong, how long have I been unconscious? About a day. Yuhi Kurenai's eyes were slightly red. Marai, are you okay? Feeling the other party's concern, Uchiha Marai smiled. It's okay, just a little thirsty. I'll go get you some water. Yuhi Kurenai hurriedly poured a cup of warm water on the table, carefully helped Uchiha Marai up, and then fed him water with her own hands. Marai, you really scared me to death. I thought I would never see you again. Yuhi Kurenai said with some fear. That day, he and Sarutobi Asuma went to the camp for help. After briefly describing their experiences, they saw that Nara Shikaku, Namikaze Minato, and Yuhi Shinku all became extremely nervous. On the way, they learned that Rasa was the strongest of the younger generation of Sand Village. Not only did he reach the strength of a cage-level strongman, he also possessed the magnetic escaping bloodline limit. He was a strong man at the same level as the cage of each village. Not to mention that there were 2 jonins from Sand Village with him. Although Namikaze Minato and others rushed to the place where Uchiha Marai was attacked as soon as possible, everyone's heart was stained with a layer of haze. Although they knew that Marai was very strong, but encountering such an enemy, Marai was probably in danger. But what no one expected was that when they arrived, they saw 2 bodies of Sand Village ninjas lying on the ground and had lost their breath. Not far away, the ninja named Luasha was controlling the golden sand in the sky and preparing to use a big move. Fortunately, Senior Namikaze Minato mastered the Flying Thunder God technique, otherwise Uchiha Marai would probably be killed by that move. Future, you don't know how dangerous it was at that time. If it was a little later, I would never see you again. Until now, Yuhi Kurenai is still a little scared. That situation is too dangerous. There is nothing we can do about it. If I don't stay behind, you will die. Uchiha Marai pinched Yuhi Kurenai's face and smiled. At that time, he was indeed about to run out of strength, but the actual situation was far less dangerous than Yuhi Kurenai imagined. After all, with the Flying Thunder God technique, he can transfer himself to an absolutely safe place at any time. Of course, he would not take the initiative to say such things. Marai, you are so kind to me. Yuhi Kurenai was moved by Uchiha Marai's words. He was a talented ninja with unlimited possibilities in the future, but at the most critical moment, he chose to be alone for her. Yuhi Kurenai threw herself into Uchiha Marai's arms. After a while, cough, cough, cough. Seeing her daughter lying in Uchiha Marai's arms, Yuhi Kurenai coughed loudly several times. Yuhi Kurenai woke up in shock and turned around to see her father, Nara Shikaku, Namikaze Minato and others. Marai, you finally woke up. Are you okay? Nara Shikaku looked at Yuhi Kurenai's shy appearance and took the initiative to speak to break the silent atmosphere. Uchiha Marai calmly let go of her hands holding Yuhi Kurenai. It's okay, just a little weak. The few people saw that Uchiha Marai didn't seem to be injured, and their expressions were even more surprised. A 13-year-old boy, facing the siege of a cage-level strongman and 2 jonin, not only was he not injured, but he killed 2 enemy jonin. Such a record will shock the entire ninja world if it is spread. Nara Shikaku walked to Uchiha Marai's bed. Marai, can you tell us in detail about the battle? At that time, I judged that the enemy was very strong, so I directly let Hong and Asuma evacuate first. In order to prevent them from being chased, I directly opened the 8 gates of ninja. That's why I can hold on until you arrive. Hearing Uchiha Marai's explanation, Yuhi Shinku nodded. When I was in the village, Marai practiced with a ninja named Might Dai for a while. The 8 gates of ninja was passed on to Marai by Might Dai. Hearing Yuhi Shinku's explanation, Nara Shikaku was a little surprised. Is it the Might Dai who is called the 10,000-year-old genin? That's right. Nara Shikaku took a breath of cold air. He thought he was quite smart, but now he felt confused. A secret technique taught by a 10,000-year-old genin helped another genin to block the siege of a cage and 2 jonins, and even killed 2 of them. Why did he feel that this world suddenly became unfamiliar to him? By the way, what happened after I fainted that day? It's a bit embarrassing to say that the ninja named Rasa ran away. Hearing what Namikaze Minato said, Uchiha Marai nodded without comment. Yuhi Shinku is good at illusion, but her strength has not reached the level of elite jonin, so she probably can't help much in the battle with Rasa. And Namikaze Minato's style happens to be the worst at dealing with ninjas like Rasa who are good at large-scale bloodline limits and defense. Especially Rasa can fly at high altitudes with the help of magnetic escape. So, it's nothing surprising that the other party can run away. After reviewing the events of the day in detail, Nara Shikaku and others saw that Uchiha Marai was indeed fine, so they left one after another. After everyone left, Uchiha Marai's eyes flashed. In the battle with Luasha, he obtained the magnetic style, gold dust, bloodline limit. This was the first time he had plundered the bloodline limit reward since he awakened the system. He was so lucky to have plundered the bloodline limit in the first battle with Luasha. It seems that I have to find time to go to the desert to pan for some gold dust. Uchiha Marai murmured. In the battle with Luasha, he personally experienced the power of the magnetic-style bloodline limit. As long as he did not face perverted attacks such as Susanoo and True Thousand Hands, at this time, the magnetic-style bloodline limit is indeed qualified to be called absolute defense. When facing the magnetic ninja bloodline limit, those ninjas without strong killing power will probably feel a strong sense of powerlessness. Such a powerful bloodline limit, Uchiha Marai must certainly use it as his trump card and make good use of it. Anyway, with the Flying Thunder God technique, his whereabouts should not be easily discovered. Thinking of this, Uchiha Marai left a shadow clone on the spot and disappeared directly into the room. The Kingdom of Wind, the Frontline base camp. Looking at Chio with an ugly face, Luosha knelt on one knee, lowered his head and dared not speak. He, a shadow-level strongman, led a jonin beheading team, not only did not kill any powerful enemies but also lost 2 jonin. If it were an ordinary ninja, it would not be surprising even if he was directly executed. You mean, a genius ninja from the Uchiha clan appeared in Konoha? That's right. Hearing Chio's words, Luosha nodded quickly. That kid has 3 Magatama Sharingan, and has mastered some special secret technique that can increase his own strength several times. Maki and Oyama died at the hands of that kid. Originally, that kid had been forced into a desperate situation by me, but at the most critical moment, Konoha's support arrived. No need to explain. Chio frowned and interrupted Luosha. Pass on my order. From now on, the Sand Village officially declares war on Konoha. Yes, Luosha. All the previous Kage have magnetic ninjutsu bloodline limit, but not only ninjas with magnetic ninjutsu bloodline limit can become Kage. I know. After hitting Luosha, Chio's eyes revealed a trace of fatigue. Why do a group of extremely outstanding talented ninjas appear in Konoha every once in a while? A teenage kid can actually have the strength to compete with Luosha. If he is allowed to grow up, he may not grow into the next Hitachi Sakumo. No, maybe that kid will be stronger than Hitachi Sakumo. After all, Hitachi Sakumo didn't have a blood limit as powerful as the Sharingan. Such a guy must be strangled in the cradle. Fire style. Great Dragon Fire technique. Wind style. Suppress harm. The combination of fire style and wind style instantly cleared a vacant area on the battlefield ahead. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Chakra +1. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Mental Power +1. Ding. Congratulations to the host. A series of prompts sounded, and Uchiha Marai grabbed Kakashi's shoulders and quickly flew back. Kill him. Uchiha Marai is there, hurry up. Guy, don't try to escape this time. Dozens of ninjas from the hidden sand village besieged Uchiha Marai, and some sand ninjas in the distance were rushing towards this side at a very fast speed. Countless shurikens, kunai, and ninjutsu smashed at them desperately, swallowing everything, and the earth trembled. Marai, you run first, I'll cover you. Looking at the approaching sand ninja, Hitachi Kakashi gritted his teeth. Stop talking nonsense. Uchiha Marai snorted coldly. Multiple shadow clone technique. Fire style. Great fireball technique. Wind style. Great breakthrough. After quickly forming seals with both hands and using the shadow clone to release several combined ninjutsu, Uchiha Marai directly opened the first 3 gates of the 8 gates of ninjutsu, and his speed suddenly increased. Marai, you really attract hatred. Kakashi looked at the crazy sand village ninja and couldn't help sighing. Stop talking nonsense here. If you are so impulsive again next time, I won't come to save you. Uchiha Marai detonated the detonating tag that had been prepared long ago, and left the sand village ninja far behind in a roar. After returning to the camp, Uchiha Marai threw Hitachi Kakashi on the ground, took out a few ration pills and stuffed them into his mouth to replenish his physical strength. Feeling the chakra in his body slowly increase, Uchiha Marai breathed a sigh of relief. It has been 2 months since he came to the front line, and such things happen almost every day. After the last encounter with Luosha, the Sand Village officially declared war on Konoha and started a full-scale war. At the same time, the news that he relied on his own strength to fight against Luosha, Maki and others spread like wildfire, causing a great sensation in the ninja world. Almost all ninjas know that a genius boy with extraordinary strength has appeared in the Uchiha clan of Konoha. Uchiha Marai can be sure that this is a conspiracy of the Sand Village. The purpose is to put him on the fire and become the target of public criticism. Uchiha Marai believes that after this news spreads, not only the Sand Village, but other ninja villages will also regard him as a thorn in the eye. After all, strangling a genius in the cradle is the most cost-effective approach. On the battlefield with the Sand Village, Uchiha Marai also received special care. Whenever he was recognized, the ninjas of the Sand Village would start to attack him frantically. If Konoha village had not used Uchiha Marai as bait to set up an ambush in advance to severely defeat the attack of the Sand Village, the pursuit of the Sand Village ninjas today would probably be even more crazy. Of course, in contrast, Uchiha Marai's strength has improved rapidly during this period of time. There are more than 200 attribute points looted alone. In addition, there are dozens of various ninjutsu. Compared with when he came to the front line, Uchiha Marai's strength can be said to have undergone earth-shaking changes. Name: Uchiha Marai. Physique: 200. Spiritual power: 180. Chakra: 192. Bloodline limit: Sharingan, magnetic release, gold sand. Ninjutsu: lightning release, Chidori. Flying thunder god technique, wind style. Suppress harm, wind style. Typhoon passes. Others. Looking at the attribute panel with 4-dimensional attributes approaching 200, Uchiha Marai's mouth curled up slightly. Sure enough, the battlefield is the most suitable place for him to improve his strength. It's a pity that he hasn't obtained any abnormal physique now, and his endurance and recovery are a little lacking. If he can obtain a physique like Sage Body, his strength will make a qualitative leap. But speaking of special physique, Uchiha Marai has a goal in mind. You can still laugh. Seeing Uchiha Marai's appearance, Hitaki Kakashi couldn't help but complain. Living in a high-pressure environment like the battlefield every day, and still being the focus of the other party's attention. If it were someone else, I'm afraid he would have been mentally weak long ago, right? But Uchiha Marai is full of energy, and he always runs to the battlefield excitedly. Hitaki Kakashi is very suspicious whether Uchiha Marai has some kind of mental illness. Kakashi, you are the one who enjoys cheating. I don't understand. Don't try to guess what I'm thinking. Hearing Uchiha Marai's incoherent words, Hitaki Kakashi was a little confused. This guy was saying something inexplicable again. However, thinking of the dangerous situation just now, Hitaki Kakashi still spoke to Uchiha Marai solemnly. Future, if you encounter such a dangerous situation in the future, you should run away alone. For the village, the most important thing is that you can survive and grow to the top. Hearing Hitaki Kakashi's words, Uchiha Marai glanced at him. Are you being pretentious again? Who is being pretentious? Hitaki Kakashi blushed. You guys should be serious, this is a very serious matter. For ninjas, all actions must be based on the interests of the village first. Just like ninjas who fail to complete their tasks are called waste, everything can be abandoned in the face of the interests of the village. Quote. Even if it's a companion. Snap. A crisp slap made Hitaki Kakashi stunned. Kakashi, you got the logic wrong. We don't live to protect the village. On the contrary, the village exists to protect us. Uchiha Marai said calmly. A ninja who fails to complete his mission is called a waste. Then those who don't cherish their companions are garbage that is even worse than waste. You must have small love before you can have big love. If you can't even do small love, the so-called big love is nothing more than a slogan for sophisticated profiteers to sacrifice others. Compared with Senior Tsukumo, you are far behind in your behavior of just following the rules. Quote. Looking at Hitaki Kakashi's dazed look, Uchiha Marai turned around and returned to his room. Since he promised Minato Namikaze to teach Hitaki Kakashi a lesson, he didn't mind giving him a lecture at the right time. When Kakashi came to his senses, his promise would be fulfilled. After a long time, Hitaki Kakashi came back to his senses, and his eyes were full of tears. He clenched his fists and opened his mouth silently. For so many years, he has been brooding over what Hitaki Tsukumo did. In fact, he leaned towards his father in his heart, but he didn't have the courage to show it. He could only desperately remind himself that everything should be based on the mission. He had also given up the lives of his companions for the goal several times during the mission. For this reason, he didn't know how many times he woke up from nightmares. But now, someone finally told him, Father's choice was not wrong. Ninjas who fail to complete their missions are called waste. Those who don't cherish their companions are trash, even worse than trash. As Uchiha Marai's words echoed in his mind, Hatake Kakashi's eyes gradually became gentle. Father, you taught me since I was a child to find a goal worth pursuing for my whole life. Now, I seem to have found it. At dawn, the border of the land of fire. Uchiha Marai flew quickly from a far distance on the gold dust. When he arrived above the Konoha base camp, Uchiha Marai scattered the gold dust under his feet and began to fall from the air. Flying Thunder God Technique. A low shout. Uchiha Marai's figure disappeared out of thin air and appeared in the room. He waved his hand to cancel the Shadow Clone technique. He did not find anything abnormal in the other party's memory, so Uchiha Marai untied the barrier arranged around the room. The current gold dust is basically enough, and the collection of gold dust can be temporarily stopped. Uchiha Marai put the storage scroll sealed with gold dust into his arms, and a satisfied look appeared on his face. Most of the areas in the land of wind are deserts, and the gold dust reserves in them are extremely rich. In just 2 months, Uchiha Marai has collected enough gold dust, which is enough to deal with the tailed beasts. In addition, magnetic release bloodline limit is really convenient. In addition to the super strong defense and attack methods that can kill a large area, it also allows Uchiha Marai to master the ability to fly for a long time at high altitude. In the ninja world, the ability to fly is very rare, and most ninjas have no means to fight against flying ninjas. In the original work, Deidara was able to defeat Gaara in the sand village by himself because he had the ability to fly. During the battle, other sand ninjas could only stare blankly. Uchiha Marai was able to escape danger from the sand village every time because he could see the ambushes set up by the sand village and advance every night from high altitude, so as to avoid the opponent's large forces on the battlefield. Dong, dong, dong. There was a knock on the door outside. Uchiha Marai packed his clothes and saw the chubby little face of Yuhi Kurenai as soon as he opened the door. Hong, what are you so happy about? Uchiha Marai looked at Yuhi Kurenai and asked curiously. In the future, there will be news from the village, and we can go back today. Yuhi Kurenai said happily. Go back? Yes, I heard from Lord Nara Shikaku that the ninjas on the front line can go back and rest for a while every 2 months. Here, every day is fighting and death. If you can't rest in time, you will go crazy after a long time. Got it, let's go. Although he can get rewards by killing enemies every day, such a long time does make him a little tired. It's good to go back and change his mood. The two came to the tent, and Namikaze Minato, Yuhi Shinku, Uchiha Obito, Sarutobi Asuma and others were already waiting. Seeing the two people coming in, Nara Shikaku smiled and said, "Thank you for your hard work during this period. I will report everyone's performance on the front line to the Hokage. Especially Marai." Nara Shikaku set his eyes on Uchiha Marai. "You have helped to establish a lot of merits. Not to mention that Uchiha Marai killed so many sand ninjas, just relying on the other party's body as bait to let hundreds of sand ninjas fall into Konoha's ambush, this is already a great achievement." Listening to Nara Shikaku's words, Sarutobi Asuma, Uchiha Obito, Yuhi Kurenai and others all felt a little unreal. Obviously, they are partners who graduated at the same time as them, but now they have become excellent ninjas who can stand on their own. And it's better not to mention it. Konoha Village. Looking at the prosperous buildings and the streets with people coming and going, Uchiha Marai and his group all showed a relaxed smile on their faces. Compared with the front line, this place is simply a paradise. The tense spirit was completely relaxed at this moment. "Marai, you go back first, and we will have dinner together in the evening," Yuhi Shinku said. As the leader of the team, he had to report the detailed information to the third generation. "Marai, I'll go back first, see you in the evening." Yuhi Shinku waved at Uchiha Marai. After staying on the front line for so long, she can finally take care of herself. Sarutobi Asuma nodded to Uchiha Marai and left quickly. After everyone left, Uchiha Marai walked alone on the streets of Konoha, feeling a little bored. Although Konoha is the most prosperous village among all the ninja villages, as a time traveler, Konoha village is just a larger town in his eyes. Arriving at a dessert shop, Uchiha Marai ordered a few strings of 3-color meatballs. As soon as he sat down, he saw a boy in Uchiha clothes walking in. The boy had a bulbous nose and big eyes, and was not as handsome as the other Uchiha clan members, but he looked honest and straightforward. Please give me 2 strings of 3-color meatballs. Thank you. Politely taking 2 strings of 3-color meatballs from the clerk, the boy looked around and found a table with people to sit down. But as soon as the boy sat down, the villagers eating at the table immediately got up and left with their food. The boy continued to look for the next target, and the same thing happened 3 times in a row. Alas, the boy sighed, and found an empty seat and sat down alone with a helpless look. He couldn't remember how many times this had happened. No matter how he showed his kindness, the villagers still avoided him. Click. Seeing the plate in front of him, the boy raised his head in surprise, but when he saw that the person in front of him was wearing the same clothes as him, he became a little disappointed. What's your name? Uchiha Marai asked the boy who looked familiar in front of him. The boy replied timidly, Uchiha Shisui. Hearing the boy's words, Uchiha Marai was a little surprised. Unexpectedly, he would meet Uchiha Shisui here. This is a ruthless man who can use Susanoo with one eye, and his Mangekyo Sharingan is the strongest illusionist, Koto Amatsukami. Even compared to Uchiha Itachi, his talent is not inferior. Unfortunately, he was ambushed by Shimura Danzo in the end, and he died unwillingly. Who are you? Seeing that the boy in front of him had been staring at him, and it seemed that he was not here to cause trouble for him, Uchiha Shisui spoke with some confusion. Uchiha Marai. Ha, are you the senior from the future? Uchiha Shisui opened his mouth in surprise. As a member of the Uchiha clan, he knew what Uchiha Marai had done on the front line in the past 2 months. However, unlike others who focused on Uchiha Marai's strength and talent, Uchiha Shisui admired Uchiha Marai's behavior of sacrificing himself to cover his companions at the critical moment of life and death. This kind of selfless devotion is in line with the will of fire in his mind. Marai, please give me more advice. Uchiha Shisui stood up and bowed respectfully. Looking at Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Marai's heart moved. Now Uchiha Shisui is so young and has not established his own worldview. If I can intervene properly, maybe I can become his right-hand man. Thinking of this, Uchiha Marai showed a faint smile on his face. It's our first meeting, please give me more advice. After quickly finishing the 3-color meatball in his hand, Uchiha Marai walked outside. Uchiha Shisui saw this and quickly followed him. He was still very curious about this senior who was so outstanding in the clan. Soon, the two arrived at the clan's land. It was about 11 o'clock in the morning. People who had been busy all morning were about to rest. Most people had a relaxed smile on their faces. After seeing Uchiha Marai, many Uchiha clan members greeted him with smiles on their faces. Marai, I heard that you have made great contributions on the front line recently. Ha 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 ha, you are worthy of being a genius ninja of our clan. You really bring honor to our Uchiha clan. There are rumors outside that when you faced a cage-level strongman and 2 jonins, you were not injured, but killed the 2 jonins. It's amazing. Marai, you are the pride of our Uchiha clan. You must pay attention to safety in the future. Although most of the Uchiha clan members are unruly, they have a natural worship for the strong. Uchiha Marai's deeds make many Uchiha clan members proud. So, Uchiha Marai is now a very popular existence in the hearts of the Uchiha clan. After greeting everyone one by one, Uchiha Marai brought Uchiha Shisui to his room. Wait a moment, I'll go make some food. After Uchiha Marai finished speaking, he turned around and went to work. When he was at the front line, he relied on Bingliangwan to replenish his physical strength most of the time. Now that he finally got home, he had to treat himself well. Soon, a burst of fragrant aroma came, and Uchiha Marai brought all the prepared ingredients to the table. Braised pork, steamed sea bass, spicy fried chicken, twice cooked pork, a whole roasted lamb leg and a few simple cold dishes. Looking at the sumptuous meal in front of him, Uchiha Shisui's eyes widened. It smells so good. You haven't eaten yet. Uchiha Marai put a pair of chopsticks in front of Uchiha Shisui. I just came back today, and I didn't prepare too much. Just eat it. Ah, Uchiha Shisui nodded blankly. It's already so sumptuous, and you still say you didn't prepare too much. Then I'll start. Uchiha Shisui originally wanted to be reserved, but smelling the tempting aroma, he finally couldn't help it. Picking up a piece of braised pork with fat and lean meat and putting it into his mouth, Uchiha Shisui couldn't help but open his eyes wide. It melts in your mouth, fragrant but not greasy. This texture, this taste, is also great. Seeing Uchiha Shisui's appearance, Uchiha Marai also started to eat voraciously. Ninjas have a big appetite, so soon all the food was swept away by the two. After eating, Uchiha Shisui came back to his senses and scratched his head a little embarrassedly. Thank you for the hospitality, Senior Marai. This meal made Uchiha Shisui feel like he had opened the door to a new world. He didn't expect that there was such delicious food in the world. When I came back just now, I saw that everyone looked at you in a not very friendly way. What's the matter? Uchiha Marai looked at Uchiha Shisui and asked. Uchiha Shisui hesitated for a moment and sighed. Everyone thinks that I have been flattering the people in the village and that I am a disgrace to the Uchiha clan. Thinking of Uchiha Shisui's performance in the dessert shop today, Uchiha Marai immediately understood the cause and effect. Future Senior, I just want the clan members and the people in the village to live in harmony. Uchiha Shisui felt a little aggrieved. Everyone says that the people of our Uchiha clan are irritable and arrogant. I want to change everyone's views on the Uchiha clan. After listening to Uchiha Shisui's explanation, Uchiha Marai touched his chin. Shisui, you are just doing useless work. The look of loss on Uchiha Shisui's face became more obvious. Does even future senior think so? I'm just stating the facts. But, what should I do? Uchiha Shisui raised his head, his eyes full of confusion. The villagers did not accept him, and the clan members were hostile to him. Are we going to let the village and the family continue to be hostile? Shisui, what do you think of me? Hearing Uchiha Marai's question, Uchiha Shisui said respectfully, Marai Sr. is a very good ninja. Not only is he the pride of the clan, but even the people in the village are full of praise for him. Uchiha Shisui said enviously, if I could be like you, then I will try to please others like you do. Uchiha Shisui seemed to understand what Uchiha Marai meant, and whispered back, no, no. Uchiha Marai nodded. Fawning will only bring more contemptuous treatment from others. If you look down on yourself, how can you win the respect of others? Uchiha Shisui was silent for a while, still a little puzzled, but if you don't take the initiative to change, the gap between the village and the Uchiha clan will become deeper and deeper. If it continues to develop, maybe the village and the family will become incompatible. Hearing Uchiha Shisui's concerns, Uchiha Marai was stunned. The children in the Naruto world are really precocious. Has Shisui now predicted the future? Future Senior, what do you think? Looking at Uchiha Shisui's hopeful eyes, Uchiha Marai showed a faint smile on his face. Shisui, why don't you consider the problem from another angle? Quote. You always want to change the Uchiha clan, why don't you think about changing the village? Hearing Uchiha Marai's words, Uchiha Shisui was stunned. Change the village, Uchiha Shisui said in confusion. Marai Sr., I don't quite understand what you mean. Isn't it too radical to change the village? Shisui, do you think the current situation of the village and the Uchiha clan is all because of the Uchiha clan? Uchiha Marai said in a deep voice. In other words, do you think all the faults are all in our clan? Hearing Uchiha Marai's question, Uchiha Shisui thought for a while and shook his head slowly. I don't know, but it shouldn't be like this. Although many ninjas in the family look very aloof, they are actually very kind and excellent ninjas. Uchiha Marai nodded with satisfaction and said lightly, that's right. Quote. You are still young, and you don't understand many things. If you are willing to listen, I can tell you the reason why the village and the Uchiha clan have become what they are now. Now that his strength has grown, he no longer needs to be as cautious as before. Since he has decided to recruit Uchiha Shisui as his subordinate, he must completely change the other party's cognition. In the eyes of Uchiha Marai, Uchiha Shisui's face showed excitement and expectation. Maybe, in the mouth of this genius ninja in the clan, he can hear a completely different answer from the past. Future Senior, I want to listen, please tell me everything you know. In that case, I'll tell you. But remember, this matter can only rot in your own heart, and you must never tell anyone. Uchiha Marai looked at Uchiha Shisui and warned. Uchiha Shisui looked at Uchiha Marai's serious eyes, and his expression unconsciously became nervous. Please rest assured, even if I sacrifice my life, I will definitely keep the secret. The story has to start from the Warring States period. Looking at Uchiha Shisui's focused look, Uchiha Marai sorted out the words. In the Warring States period before the establishment of Konoha, ninjas existed in the form of families and attacked each other for hired tasks. Hyuga clan, Sarutobi clan, Shimura clan, Kazuna clan, Uzumaki clan. The two most powerful ninja clans are Senju and Uchiha Ichi clan. Once someone hired a ninja from one clan, the enemy would definitely hire a ninja from the other clan to fight against them. Over time, the two clans became enemies and wanted to get rid of each other as soon as possible. This situation continued until Hashirama Senju and Madara Uchiha became clan leaders. Quote, in order to stop children of a few years old from fighting and dying, the two of them joined forces to sweep across the entire Warring States period and established a system of one country and one village. Konoha village was born. Uchiha Shisui listened attentively to Uchiha Marai's story, his eyes full of surprise. Although these things were recorded in the family's secret scrolls, he had not yet come into contact with them. Uchiha Marai's words made him feel like his horizons were broadened. After Konoha was established, Hashirama Senju was elected as the first Hokage. After living there for a while, Uchiha Madara keenly realized that the system they established had great flaws, and darkness would inevitably breed over time, so he chose to leave Konoha. It is worth mentioning that when Uchiha Madara left Konoha, he once ordered the Uchiha clan to leave with him, but the clan members who were accustomed to a stable life did not follow the former leader. Everyone has regarded themselves as a member of the village. So that's it. Uchiha Shisui was a little puzzled. Since all the clan members would rather abandon Uchiha Madara and stay in the village, why has the situation become like this now? As if seeing Uchiha Shisui's doubts, Uchiha Marai continued. After Hashirama Senju died, Tobirama Senju, who had the highest voice, became the second-generation Hokage. Unlike Hashirama Senju, Tobirama Senju is very hostile to the Uchiha clan. Evil Uchiha. This is a catchphrase that Tobirama Senju often says. Under Tobirama Senju's policy, the Uchiha clan was gradually squeezed out of the core power layer of the village, and the clan land of the Uchiha clan was planned to the edge of Konoha village. In order to prevent the Uchiha clan from getting involved in the position of Hokage in the future, Tobirama Senju established the Konoha police force and handed over the village's public security to the Uchiha clan. Hearing this, Uchiha Shisui raised his right hand. Future senior, let the Uchiha clan handle the village's public security issues. Isn't this a disservice to our clan? Uchiha, shook his head in the future. Stop the water, you are too naive. The ministry is responsible for maintaining public security, and it is more about the trivial matter of dealing with villagers. It was just towards us. Hearing Uchiha's future telling, Uchiha had a sense of realization. His brain was awake a lot in an instant. No wonder the relationship between the Uchiha family and the villagers became worse and worse. If the truth of the matter is like this, then isn't everything a conspiracy of the second Hokage? After quietly waiting for Uchiha Shisui to think for a while, Uchiha Marai drank a sip of tea and continued to explain. Later, before Senju Tobirama died, he directly designated the position of Hokage to Sarutobi Hiruzen. So-called the voting system for the jonin is in name only. As the founder of the village, the Uchiha clan has completely lost its voice. Quote, after Hiruzen Sarutobi and Danzo Shimura, who inherited the ideas of Tobirama Senju, came to power, the suppression of the Uchiha clan became increasingly obvious, until it led to the situation today. Shisui, the truth of the matter is like this. Who do you think is at fault for this matter? After hearing Uchiha Marai's question, Uchiha Shisui was silent for a while, and then said firmly, it's the village's fault. The matter is very clear. The reason for the current tense situation between the village and the Uchiha clan is entirely the prejudice of the second generation and his successors. So changing the Uchiha clan is just doing useless work. Uchiha Marai said in a deep voice, what really needs to change is Konoha. My eyes have seen the future. If it continues like this, the Uchiha clan will eventually go on the road to destruction. Future senior, what should we do? Quote, Uchiha Shisui was a little flustered. Now the power of the village is all in the hands of the third Hokage. How easy is it to change such a huge village? The method is very simple. As long as you have absolute power, everything will change naturally. Looking at Uchiha Marai's indifferent expression, Uchiha Shisui said in horror, Future senior, do you want to lead the Uchiha in rebellion? Shisui, failure is called rebellion, success is called reform. But, with our strength, can we really be the opponent of the village? And once a coup is launched, many people will die. Hearing Uchiha Shisui's concerns, Uchiha Marai snorted, Shisui, you must remember that all the faults are theirs. It is they who have forced us into a dead end. And with me here, things may not be as serious as you think. When we can show the power that makes the Hokage family despair, they will naturally collapse. Quote. Looking at Uchiha Marai's confident look, Uchiha Shisui felt that he had been completely impressed by his ability. He had never thought that this young man who was only a few years older than him actually had a ferocious tiger hidden in his heart. Okay, you already know everything, tell me what you think. Uchiha Marai looked at Uchiha Shisui and asked with a smile. Future senior, I will work hard to become stronger so that the chips in your hand can become bigger. Uchiha Shisui put his head on the ground and performed the etiquette of sitting down in front of Uchiha Marai. Seeing his appearance, Uchiha Marai silently withdrew his hand from his waist. Uchiha Shisui is just the beginning. Sooner or later, the entire Uchiha clan will become a wealthy ninja clan that the entire ninja world looks up to under his leadership. Konoha Village. Hokage's office. Sarutobi Hiruzen stood alone in front of the window, puffing on his pipe with a complicated look. Not long ago, Yuhi Shinku reported to him in detail the mission logs during this period. Combined with the information sent back by Nara Shikaku, he probably knew what happened on the front line. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not expect that Uchiha Marai's talent was so high. 1 year after graduating from the ninja school, he already had the power to face the cage level. Although according to the intelligence, Uchiha Marai relied on the secret technique of 8 gates of Dunjia to increase his strength temporarily, and he was only struggling under the attack of Rasa and almost died in the hands of the opponent. But it was enough to show the opponent's talent. Even the mirror of that year was much inferior to Uchiha Marai. But unlike the previous vigilance against the Uchiha clan ninjas, this time Sarutobi Hiruzen did not have any special thoughts about Uchiha Marai. When he thought about the other party choosing to sacrifice himself in a critical moment so that his teammates could escape safely. Such an action made Sarutobi Hiruzen feel relieved. In his eyes, Uchiha Marai has completely inherited the inheritance of the will of fire. No matter how strong such a ninja is, he has the confidence to control it in his hands. At this moment, the door of the office was suddenly pushed open. Hearing the hurried footsteps, Sarutobi Hiruzen knew without looking back that it was his old friend who came. Only he dared to rush into the Hokage's office so rashly. Hiruzen, Uchiha Marai has returned to the village. I apply to let the root ninja control him. Shimura Danzo said straight to the point. Hearing his words, Sarutobi Hiruzen turned around, knocked the pipe in his hand on the desk a few times, and then slowly said, Danzo, I told you a long time ago that Marai is the ninja I favor, and his personality is not suitable for the root who stays in the shadows. HMPH. I think you are getting old and confused. Shimura Danzo said coldly, Uchiha Marai has such a high talent, do you want Konoha to have another Uchiha Madara? Danzo, don't make alarmist remarks here. I know exactly what you are thinking. No matter how talented Uchiha Marai is, he has no even if he opens the Mangekyo Sharingan, there is nothing to fear at all. Quote. Shimura Danzo immediately said, what if he opens the Mangekyo Sharingan? Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of cigarette, with a very relaxed smile on his face. It doesn't matter even if he opens the Mangekyo Sharingan. According to records, the Mangekyo Sharingan is a cursed eye. Every Uchiha with the Mangekyo Sharingan will eventually lose his light. Now the village is in our hands, a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan is nothing. A strong momentum flows out of Sarutobi Hiruzen. As a ninja hero, he is confident that he can control everything in his own hands. Uchiha will not have brothers and sisters in the future, and is destined not to have eyes like Uchiha Madara. He has many elite soldiers and generals under his command. Orochimaru, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Namikaze Minato and a group of powerful ninjas and Anbu elites. Plus his own strength. Who in Konoha can compete with him? After listening to Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, Shimura Danzo was a little puzzled. Hiruzen, there is obviously a simpler control method, why do you go far away? Danzo, you just need to do your own job well, don't ask about the rest. Hiruzen, sooner or later you will regret it. You have said this many times. Humph. Shimura Danzo left angrily. Sarutobi Hiruzen half closed his eyes, picked up the teacup on the table and took a sip. His old friend is still too immature. It would be fine if the Uchiha clan was obedient, but if the Uchiha clan was no longer willing to be dogs one day, the village would definitely take action against the Uchiha clan. After all, the Uchiha clan was the ninja clan that founded Konoha. If he took action against the Uchiha clan, he would definitely bear the infamy. But if the ninjas of the Uchiha clan were allowed to do it themselves, that would be another matter. Uchiha Marai, who is extremely talented and has inherited the will of fire, is the best candidate in the plan. After the war is over, let Uchiha Marai join the Anbu. Late at night, in front of the barbecue restaurant, Yuhi Shinku brought Yuhi Kurenai and waved to Uchiha Marai and others. Everyone should relax during this period, but don't neglect your practice. Got it. Then goodbye. Yuhi Shinku burped, and disappeared with Yuhi Kurenai reluctantly. In the night, when the two disappeared, Asuma Sarutobi retracted his gaze, I'm leaving too. After saying that, he used the instant body technique and disappeared from the spot, as if he didn't want to stay with Uchiha Marai for even a second. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Marai shook his head and didn't care too much. It's good this way. He is destined to attack the Sarutobi clan, and maybe he will kill Asuma Sarutobi himself. Now that the relationship between the two is a little distant, it is not a bad thing for him. Walking towards the clan's land, there are fewer and fewer people on the street. When passing through a dark and deep alley, Uchiha Marai suddenly stopped. In front and behind him, two masked ninjas surrounded him in the middle. Uchiha Marai, Lord Shimura Danzo has ordered you to come with us. Uchiha Marai shook his head. Shimura Danzo? I've never heard of him. Lord Danzo is the Hokage's advisor, and all Konoha ninjas must obey his orders. The root ninja said coldly, do you want to betray the village and become a traitor? You are really good at putting accusations on people. Uchiha Marai snorted disdainfully. The next second, a pair of scarlet eyes lit up in the darkness. No, he's going to do it. The two root ninjas were shocked when they saw Uchiha Marai's Sharingan. They had always been rampant in the village, and they never thought that the other party would do it as soon as they said it. When they realized that something was wrong, it was too late. The illusion of the Sharingan made them dazed for a moment, and when they came to their senses, the long sword had pierced their chests. The root ninjas widened their eyes in disbelief. They had never thought that the young man in front of them was so cruel, and his moves were killing moves, without any hesitation. Uchiha Marai, Danzo-sama will not let you go. Don't worry, I didn't think of letting him go. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward. Secret technique shadow imitation technique. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward. Secret technique partial multiplication technique. Hearing the prompt sound of the system in his mind, Uchiha Marai's mouth curled up slightly, and through the search technique, he got some information about the root in the mind of the root ninja. In order not to be harassed by Shimura Danzo from time to time, Uchiha Marai decided to find something for the other party to do. After dealing with the dead root ninja body, Uchiha Marai secretly came to a temporary base of the root ninja. According to memory, there were 2 root ninja teams on duty, and the strongest were 2 special jonin. After making sure that he was not discovered, Uchiha Marai made seals with both hands and performed the transformation technique to disguise himself. At the same time, a shadow clone was created, one after the other, and they rushed into the root ninja's base. Konoha Village, Uchiha clan territory. 2 young boys, one big and one small, walked on the street, with noisy discussions everywhere, and many people showed expressions of gloating on their faces. Seeing this, the younger boy took the initiative to explain. Marai, a very strange thing happened in the village last night. Hearing the boy's words, Uchiha Marai raised his eyebrows calmly. Shisui, I went to bed early last night, what happened? Uchiha Shisui moved closer to Uchiha Marai and lowered his voice. I heard that someone attacked a base of the Root organization yesterday and killed several Root ninjas. Really? Yeah, but things are not that simple. Uchiha Shisui continued. I heard that this matter is related to the Nara clan and the Akamichi clan. Is there any evidence? A seriously injured Root ninja ran away last night, and he saw with his own eyes that the other party used the secret techniques of the Nara clan and the Akamichi clan. After saying that, Uchiha Shisui sighed. They are all ninjas from the Hokage line, and I didn't expect that they would fight each other. After accepting Uchiha Marai's thoughts, Uchiha Shisui's understanding of the village became much clearer. Now that he heard such news, he agreed more with Uchiha Marai's idea of changing the village. Internal strife can happen at this time. Such a ruler has been corrupted by darkness. How do you know so much information? Uchiha Marai asked puzzledly. Shimura Danzo took the Root ninja to the Akamichi and Nara clans to make trouble early in the morning. Everyone knows it. Future senior, don't you know anything? Looking at Uchiha Shisui's inquiring eyes, Uchiha Marai shook his head. Of course he knew that he did it himself. After plundering the secret techniques of the Akamichi clan and the Nara clan from the Root ninja who attacked him yesterday, he went to the Root ninja's base and killed several ninjas on duty. He also deliberately let the seriously injured ninja run away. Now his strength is not enough to tear his face with the other party. In order not to be harassed by the other party, he can only find something for Shimura Danzo to do. The family secret technique is as solid as a mountain. With Shimura Danzo's character, this matter will never be easily abandoned. He can also be free for a while. No words along the way. The two came to Uchiha Tajima's house. Master Clan Leader. You are here, come in and sit down. Uchiha Tajima looked at Uchiha Marai and Uchiha Shisui, and a friendly smile appeared on his face. Marai, I have heard about your recent performance in the village. You did a good job and did not bring shame to our Uchiha clan. Here is some money and ninjutsu scrolls, which is the family's support for you. Feeling the kindness released by Uchiha Tajima, Uchiha Marai smiled and took the things on the table into his arms. Money and ninjutsu scrolls are things that no one would think are too much. Marai, if you have any other requests, just let me know, and the family will try their best to meet your needs. Everyone can see the potential of Uchiha Marai, and as the clan leader, he naturally has to have a good relationship with the other party. This, Uchiha Marai thought for a while, and suddenly his heart moved. Chief Tajima, I want to contract a summoning beast. After hearing Uchiha Marai's request, Uchiha Tajima laughed a few times. This is easy. Most of the ninjas in the family have signed a summoning contract with the Ninja Cat clan. Although the Ninja Cat clan is not good at fighting, it is very convenient to use it to transmit messages and collect intelligence. If you are willing, I will arrange for you to sign a summoning contract now. What Uchiha Tajima didn't expect was that Uchiha Marai shook his head slightly and rejected his proposal. Are there other summoning beasts in the family? Well, Uchiha Tajima frowned and thought for a while. In addition to the Ninja Cat, there is another choice. Crow. Hearing the answer he wanted, Uchiha Marai immediately nodded. This is it. Crow is the summoning beast he had decided on in his heart a long time ago. Nothing else. Just handsome. After confirming the matter of the summoned beast, Uchiha Tajima turned his attention to Uchiha Shisui who was standing beside him. Shisui, since you are here, what kind of summoning contract do you want to sign? I like crows, too. Uchiha Shisui said immediately. I know. Uchiha Tajima was not stingy with the son of an old friend. After agreeing to the other party's request, he also took out a few ninjutsu scrolls and handed them to Uchiha Shisui. If you have any needs, just tell me, the family will definitely try their best to meet you. Uchiha Tajima emphasized again. Uchiha Marai and Uchiha Shisui nodded at the same time. I know, Chief Tajima. After chatting for a few more words, Uchiha Tajima asked someone to take Uchiha Marai and Uchiha Shisui to sign the spiritual scroll with Crow. After the two left, Uchiha Tajima's face turned ruddy and he coughed heavily a few times. Looking at the bright red blood in his palm, Uchiha Tajima sighed silently. He didn't have much time left. Before he died, this was all he could do for the family. I hope that after Marai and Shisui grow up, they can bring some changes to the family's situation. After leaving Uchiha Tajima's house, Uchiha Marai and Uchiha Shisui came to a dense forest in the back mountain. While practicing, Uchiha Marai also gave some guidance to Uchiha Shisui. He already had a lot of practical experience, and he also got some training experience from Uchiha Fugaku and Namikaze Minato. So just a few simple words helped Uchiha Shisui benefit a lot. Marai Sr., thank you so much today. If I have anything I don't understand in the future, can I ask you for advice? Looking at Uchiha Shisui's expectant eyes, Uchiha Marai nodded, of course. After that, Uchiha Marai changed the subject. Shisui, you know that ninja is a very dangerous profession, right? Marai Sr., what do you want to say? You are too weak now, but you know too many secrets. Uchiha Shisui immediately understood what Uchiha Marai meant. He looked at Uchiha Marai and said with a firm look in his eyes, Marai Sr., if you have any ideas, just say it, I can do it. Then I'll say it directly. Uchiha Marai said slowly, in order to prevent you from passively revealing our secrets, I need to set a sealing technique on you. Although he still trusts Uchiha Shisui, it is better to be careful about some things. It happened that when he killed the root ninja last night, he looted the snake trouble rooting seal. This sealing technique is a ninjutsu specially developed to prevent the person being cast from revealing confidential information. If the person being cast wants to say something related to a specific matter, his whole body will be paralyzed, unable to speak or move. It is perfect for keeping secrets. After briefly explaining the effect of the snake trouble root seal to Uchiha Shisui, a look of admiration appeared on Uchiha Shisui's face. As expected of a future senior, you can actually think of these things. Please start. Uchiha Shisui did not have any rejection of this. After all, the secrets he knew were related to the future direction of the Uchiha clan and even the entire village. If being planted with the snake trouble root seal could eliminate the risk of him leaking secrets, then he would be very happy about it. Marai, be careful. Uchiha Shisui threw several shurikens, which collided with each other in midair and flew towards Uchiha Marai from all blind spots. Then, Uchiha Shisui formed seals with both hands, and his chest swelled rapidly, fire style, great fireball technique. The scorching fireball followed closely, submerging Uchiha Marai's figure. Boom! A violent explosion sounded, and dust flew around. At this moment, a kunai rushed out of the flames and stabbed towards Uchiha Shisui's throat. Uchiha Shisui drew out his short knife and quickly broke all the kunai. Instant body technique. Uchiha Shisui's figure disappeared from the spot and appeared beside Uchiha Marai. Puff! The sharp blade pierced Uchiha Marai's body. Quack, quack, quack. Uchiha Marai's body suddenly turned into countless crows and flew around. Immediately afterwards, Uchiha Shisui felt his body sink, and his entire body was buried in the soil, leaving only the part above his neck exposed. Future senior, I lost. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, mental power +1. Okay, let's stop here for today's training. Uchiha Future released Uchiha Shisui, feeling a little envious. This is a true genius. In just a few days, his strength has undergone earth-shaking changes. Unlike him, he can only rely on cheating to improve his strength. Future senior, let's have dinner together tomorrow, I'll treat you. Forget it, I have something to do tomorrow. Oh. Uchiha Shisui nodded obediently, but there was still a little disappointment in his eyes. It seems that I won't be able to eat the food made by future senior tomorrow. Here, looking at the lunchbox that suddenly appeared in front of him, Uchiha Shisui's eyes lit up. Future senior, what a good person. Konoha Village. On the second floor of the apartment building, Uchiha Marai stood at the door and knocked. I'm here. A crisp voice came, and the door was opened. A red-haired woman in an apron came into view. Who are you looking for? I'm looking for Minato Namikaze. Ah, you are Uchiha Marai, right? The woman's face showed an expression of sudden enlightenment, and she moved aside to make room. I often hear Minato mention you, saying that you are an incredible genius. You're flattering. Uchiha Marai smiled. Kushina, this is a gift for you. Call me sister. Okay, Kushina, quote. Walking into the room, Uchiha Obito, Hitaki Kakashi, and Nohara Rin were sitting on the sofa chatting, while Minato Namikaze was busy in the kitchen. Seeing Uchiha Marai coming in, except for Uchiha Obito, Nohara Rin and Hitaki Kakashi all came over and greeted him warmly. "Is Marai here?" The voice of Namikaze Minato came from the kitchen. "Wait a moment, the food will be ready soon." "Okay," Uchiha Marai responded. Today, Namikaze Minato's team had a dinner party, and because of Kakashi, Minato also invited him to dinner. It was not easy to get close to Uzumaki Kushina, he would not miss this opportunity. After staying on the front battlefield for 2 months, Uchiha Marai found that his current endurance was still a bit too poor. After using the 8 gates, the body will also enter a period of fatigue. In the final analysis, it was because his physique was too ordinary. If he could take the opportunity to plunder the Uzumaki sage from Uzumaki Kushina, it would be great. Thinking of this, Uchiha Marai showed an innocent smile to Uzumaki Kushina. "Kushina, can you pour me a glass of water?" "Of course you can, but shouldn't you respect your seniors?" Uzumaki Kushina said, a little unhappy. "Oh, then can you please pour me a glass of water, Auntie Kushina?" After Uchiha Marai finished speaking, the air in the whole room froze. Uzumaki Kushina stared at Uchiha Marai with wide eyes. "You little brat, what did you call me just now?" "Auntie, is there any problem?" "You should call me sister, fool." Uzumaki Kushina clenched her fists, and the red hair behind her fluttered without wind. From childhood to adulthood, this is the first time she has been called auntie. Does she look that old? "Sister Kushina, I was just joking." Uchiha Marai's words calmed Kushina Uzumaki's mood a little, but the next second, Uchiha Marai spoke again. "I heard that when you get angry, your hair will move like an octopus. Today I saw it and it's true. That's it." Quote. Silence. Endless silence. An astonishing killing intent spread in the room. "Kill you." Uzumaki Kushina picked up the frying pan and hit Uchiha Marai. Uchiha Marai quickly dodged. Crackling. The room was in chaos. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Uzumaki's sage body. Hearing the prompt sound of the system in his mind, Uchiha Marai's face showed excitement. Too awesome. It's so lucky to get the Uzumaki sage body for the first time. A warm current flowed into the body, and the chakra in Uchiha Marai's body began to grow rapidly. In just a short moment, it has doubled dozens of times. And Uchiha Marai can clearly feel that not only chakra, but also physical fitness, mental strength and other aspects have all completed a qualitative leap in an instant. It's worthy of being the Uzumaki sage body. Too perverted. You little brat dare to laugh. Quote. Seeing the smile on Uchiha Marai's face, Uzumaki Kushina could no longer hold back, and a strong chakra burst out. Not good. Flying Thunder God technique. A golden light flashed, and Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina disappeared in the room at the same time. After a while, the bruised and swollen Namikaze Minato brought Uzumaki Kushina back to the room. Seeing his appearance, Uchiha Marai silently mourned for him for a few minutes in his heart. Minato, everything is for the future of Konoha. Little brat, I'll spare you this time, and be careful when you speak in the future. Uzumaki Kushina glared at Uchiha Marai. Uchiha Marai nodded obediently. Sister Kushina, I won't play pranks in the future. Since the most desired reward has been obtained, he naturally won't deliberately provoke Uzumaki Kushina. Humph. Compared with Obito, you are really not likable at all. Quote. Uzumaki Kushina snorted and pulled Uchiha Obito to sit at the dining table. Obito, it's the time for growth, you should eat more. Yeah. Quote. Seeing Kushina Uzumaki's look, Uchiha Marai's opinion of Uchiha Obito was even lower. Among Minato Namikaze's 3 disciples, Kushina Uzumaki liked Uchiha Obito the most and usually took good care of him. But what did Uchiha Obito do? When Kushina Uzumaki was at her weakest, he forcibly pulled the 9 tails out of her body and pasted the detonating talisman on the newly born Naruto, causing the destruction of his master and his mistress's family. The most outrageous thing is that he actually blamed Minato Namikaze for not recognizing him at the time. If he hadn't wanted to wait for Uchiha Obito to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan and plunder the God's power from him, he would have wanted to find an opportunity to kill him now. After dinner, After promising Kushina Uzumaki that he would bring her a gift to apologize next time, Uchiha Marai went straight back to his room. Having just obtained the Uzumaki sage body, he must feel the changes in his body. In the room, Uchiha Marai sat cross-legged with his eyes closed in deep thought. After a long time, he opened his eyes, and a gleam of light flashed in his eyes. Is this the power of the Uzumaki sage body? Sure enough. Uchiha Marai murmured excitedly. After his body became the Uzumaki sage body, the chakra in his body increased dozens of times. From the chakra of an ordinary elite jonin, he became a human-shaped tailed beast. If he were to face Rasa now, he would be fully confident of killing him. In addition, his body has also undergone earth-shaking changes in mental strength and physique. In general, even if the three-dimensional attributes have not increased, Uchiha Marai's strength has also made a qualitative leap compared to before. The most important thing is that his physique is now the Uzumaki sage body, which means that every attribute point plundered by the future is based on the Uzumaki sage body to be improved. In other words, every point of physical fitness, chakra, and mental power gained in the future is likely to be several times more than before. Uchiha Marai thought of a battery advertisement in his mind. XX battery, 1 is better than 6. After feeling the changes in his body, Uchiha Marai stood up, opened the barrier set up in the room, and directly opened the 8 gates. First gate open. Second gate rest gate open. Third gate Sheng gate open. Quote. Sixth gate K gate open. After opening 6 gates in a row, Uchiha Marai's body was filled with violent aura. If the barrier had not been opened in advance, such violent chakra would probably have caused panic in the village. In fact, Uchiha Marai felt that with his current physical condition, he should be able to attack the 7th gate of the 8 gates, the Jing gate. But the energy that the 7th gate can burst out is too great. Even if the barrier is set up in advance, Uchiha Marai can't guarantee that it will not be noticed by outsiders. So after thinking about it, he decided to give up. After a while, Uchiha Marai took a deep breath and released the 8 gates. A wave of fatigue swept over, but Uchiha Marai still showed a satisfied smile on his face. Compared with the last time, this time after opening the 8 gates, not only did it last longer, but the side effects were also much smaller. Let's wait and see tomorrow. After experiencing it roughly, Uchiha Marai did not continue to toss, but fell asleep in bed. The next day, Uchiha Marai got up and moved his body, and found that there was no abnormality in his body except for a little soreness. It's worthy of being a Uzumaki sage body. This recovery speed is really abnormal. Uchiha Marai couldn't help but exclaimed. You know, after the last battle with Luo Sha, he adjusted for more than half a month before he barely recovered his body to its peak state. But now he has recovered after just one night's sleep. The gap is self-evident. The Whirlpool Immortal's body is already so strong, how strong should the legendary Perfect Immortal's body be? As the last golden leaf returned to the soil, the cold winter wind began to make pedestrians on the street shrink their necks unconsciously. It was on such a bleak day that 2 green figures, steaming all over, ran out of the dense forest in the distance, standing upside down. Guy, the Chunin exam is about to start, you must work harder. I will, father. Come on, we're almost there, hold on, I'll treat you to ramen. Wow, the 2 of them rushed into Ichiraku Ramen, shouting, Boss, 4 large bowls of char shao ramen. Okay, wait a minute. After ordering, Might Guy and Might Dai found a corner and sat down. Soon, 4 steaming, generous bowls of ramen were served. Enjoy your meal. Hula hula, the sound of slurping noodles was heard, and soon the 4 bowls of ramen were cleaned up, without even a drop of soup left. After the 2 finished eating, a handsome black-haired boy walked in from outside the door. Future. Might Guy looked at the boy, stood up excitedly and waved his hand. Kai, Uncle Dai. Seeing Might Dai and Might Kai, Uchiha Marai sat next to them. Marai, what a coincidence, I didn't expect to meet you here. I'll treat you to dinner today. Might Dai waved his hand and said generously. Uncle Dai, you should save your money to buy some meat to supplement your nutrition, raise it. I have my own money. Uchiha Marai shook his head and rejected Might Guy's kindness. The price of Ichiraku ramen is not cheap. Might Guy and his son have always lived in poverty, and he doesn't want to let the other party spend money. Marai, my father is rich now. Huh, where did you two go to make money recently? Hearing Uchiha Marai's teasing, Might Guy laughed a few times. Speaking of it, it's still because of you. Because of me. Seeing that Uchiha Marai was a little puzzled, Might Guy immediately explained, yes, because of you, my father can make a lot of money now. What's going on? Uchiha Marai was even more confused. He didn't do anything, right? Marai, you came back from the front line a month ago. At that time, you successfully blocked Rasa and 2 jonins from the Sand Village with the help of the 8 gates. Quote. After the news was passed back to the village, my father was personally summoned by the 3rd Hokage. After a detailed evaluation, the Hokage personally promoted my father to a special jonin. Now my father's income is much higher than before. And, after my father handed over the training method of the 8 gates to the village, he also received a large reward. Might Guy looked at Uchiha Marai with gratitude. The other party not only encouraged him that he was a hard-working genius and helped him find confidence, but also helped his father get rid of the title of 10,000 years of genin. He was simply the benefactor of their family. So that's the case. I won't be polite today. After understanding the cause and effect, Uchiha Marai did not continue to refuse and directly ordered a deluxe ramen. Since the other party is not short of money, it would be a bit hypocritical for him to refuse again. Future, I haven't seen you recently. What are you busy with? Quote. While waiting, Might Guy asked curiously. In the past month, Uchiha Marai has not asked him to train together, which makes Might Guy a little disappointed. The Chunin exam is coming soon, and I have been training with Hong and others recently. Uchiha Marai explained. Hearing his answer, Might Guy felt much better, and then smiled. So that's the case, I really envy Hong and Asuma, and I can be teammates with you in the future. Just then, a little loli came over with a big bowl of ramen. Your ramen, please enjoy it. Looking at Ayame, who was only 6 or 7 years old, Uchiha Marai couldn't help but rubbed her hair. Little sister, thank you. Oh, my hair. Bad brother. Quote. Ayame pouted and ran away angrily. After teasing Ayame, Uchiha Marai smiled and took a mouthful of hot ramen, and continued the previous topic. Kai, how are you preparing for the Chunin exam? I can't wait. Might Guy waved his fist with fighting spirit. For this Chunin exam, everyone has worked hard for a long time. Future, you can't be careless, be careful not to capsize in the ditch. Quote. Hearing Might Guy's words, Uchiha Marai silently called out the system panel and took a look. Name, Uchiha Marai. Physique, 213. Spiritual strength, 207. Chakra, 209. Bloodline limit. Sharingan, magnetic style, gold dust. Ninjutsu. Others. Partial multiplication jutsu. Shadow imitation jutsu, Uzumaki sage body. Looking at the 3-dimensional attributes that have all exceeded 200 and various ninjutsu, secret techniques, and bloodline limits, Uchiha Marai smiled silently. If you want him to fail in the Chunin exam, I'm afraid it will be impossible for Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Hokage, to take the field himself, right? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.